there would be so many out there watching right now who would be very fearful of getting the flu. Mm-hmm. What do you say to them?
Get the flu shot. And I think being aware that these things can be serious, so, seeking medical attention early if you can.
Who can give their baby a haircut and make international news? None other than the Canadian musician who happens to be the girlfriend of the richest man on the planet, Grimes. Grimes has an insane story that includes studying neuroscience and releasing 5 studio albums. Not only is she a celebrated creative and intellectual, but she's also Elon Musk's girlfriend and the mother to their 8-month-old son, X-A12. Grimes' story is one that we can all draw inspiration from. To new fans, Grimes might seem a bit odd, but the musician, whose real name is Claire Boucher, has led quite an extraordinary life. Born and raised in Vancouver, Canada, the electronic musician started releasing music over a decade ago. While she's a really talented musician, it's actually a career that she stumbled upon. One of her friends convinced her to sing backing vocals for his band, and she was an absolute natural. Apparently, she found it super easy to hit all the right notes, so she learned how to use GarageBand, and the rest is history. Her ability to pick up on the technical side of music so quickly speaks volumes to her intellect, and we think it's awesome that young women have people like Grimes to look up to. Not only is she really smart and creative, but she also dedicates her time to speaking out about double standards and the issues female musicians face in the music industry. She's been vocal about reviews of her work that focus on the fact that she's a whoop of society. The singer does things her way, and she's been celebrated for staying extension of herself and has been described as dark, strange, ethereal, and catchy. After graduating high school, she started attending McGill University in Montreal, Canada, where she studied neuroscience. Neuroscience is the scientific study of the nervous system. In her music career, she made the decision to drop out of university and pursue music seriously. In 2020, one of her most famous songs, Oblivion, came from this album and really made its mark on the music world. Pitchfork even named it the second best song of the decade in 2019. It's no longer available. Signing to the management company put her in the same circles as the likes of Rihanna, who is also signed to Roc Nation. She even almost worked with Rihanna in 2014 when she wrote a song for her, but the song retreats female artists and is constantly using her platform to talk about how misogynistic the industry is. She told Fader, she was loved by thousands of people, but not intellectual and creative, who uses her music to express people at the Met Gala. The two are very opinionated people in their own rights, so it doesn't surprise us that they met on Twitter. Apparently, aw, it seems like these two were a match made in art. Met on Twitter. Apparently, Elon was planning on making a joke about artificial intelligence in one of her music videos, but she'd already made the joke. Grimes even told Page Six that this was the first time in 3 years that anyone even got the joke. Aw, it seems like these...
Want to win a vacation? Watch the big game ads. Tweet at Booking.com and you have a chance to win it.
Through my online store alone, we've sold over $500,000 worth of spices. That's so crazy.
I went from selling...
two were a match made in artificial intelligence heaven. Elon told the Wall Street Journal that he loves Grimes because of her artistic creativity and intense work ethic. The two are both super creative, are interested in studying the brain, and have insane work ethic. Love the idea of holograms because she told Flaunt magazine that she wants to retire from touring and do a hologram. The words apocalyptic, terrifying, and horrible to describe it. She said she can't tell what's happening and doesn't think she's a good performer, so it becomes stressful for her. Tour. Not only would it help relieve some of her performance stress, but it would also be super cool. Grimes and Elon made a splash on the scene, and it seemed like they were at every A-list event with their minds. Would these two give birth to a baby as talented and out there as them? If names are any indication of how unique a child grows up to be, we can safely say that Elon and Grimes' baby is going to be one of the most unique humans on the planet. Grimes told Rolling Stone that the decision to have a baby was one that was really profound for her. She said it's a crazy sacrifice to make, even though it's a great thing, saying, "I'm just like, I have to sacrifice my power in this moment." She went on to say that she decided to make the commitment because of the love she has for her boyfriend. As she moved through pregnancy, she was open about early complications and was open and honest in the media and her social channels about the fact that she didn't fully understand what she was getting herself into. The tough pregnancy all became worth it on May 4th last year, when Elon and Grimes welcomed a baby boy. And let's be honest, we were all so confused when we saw his name, X-A12 Musk. They've said they just call him X. Today, the little one is almost a year old, and it seems like everything this creative, intelligent, and out there family does makes the news. Most recently, Grimes gave her son a Vikings-inspired haircut, and the headlines came flowing in. The pop star shared her baby's first haircut on her Instagram stories, saying, "Not sure this haircut went well, but he's a Viking now." She also shared another photo with the caption, "Haircut inspired by The Last Kingdom on Netflix, which is a masterpiece." The Last Kingdom is a British historical fiction series about Vikings. Little X is so cool. He even has his bath rave for babies, where he gets to have a bath with flashing lights and light up water toys. We love that Grimes is raising her baby to be as expressive and unique as her. Grimes' passion, intellect, and creative mind have made her a force to be reckoned with. Today, she's a mother, an innovator, and has almost finished her 6th studio album. In an online Q&A, she said she's hoping to have new music out within the next couple of months, but the pandemic and business complications might get in the way. A fan asked her what music she's proud of the most, and she said that it had to be her entire upcoming album. We can't wait to see what kind of inspiration she's drawn from her baby boy. Looking towards the future, her fans had to ask what she thought of her boyfriend's predictions that humans will live on Mars one day. She said she'd be willing to travel to the planet, but not until after she turns 50. The only stipulation? Elon would have to upload her consciousness to an artificially intelligent body first. That's just crazy to think about. She told her fans that
Drinking water before bed burns 46 pounds in 2 weeks. If you are struggling to lose weight and you're over 25, then you need...
Who is Poppy? It seems like no one has the same answer. This YouTuber turned singer makes a sport out of mystery, but with the release of her 2020 album, I Disagree, the woman behind the persona is starting to take off her platinum wig. Here's the real-life story of Poppy. According to New York Magazine, Poppy prefers that you not imagine her as a person who existed before her digital public life. This digital life began in 2014, when the very first Poppy-branded video hit YouTube. From the start, Poppy's team went to extraordinary lengths to erase all evidence of her personal history. But more recently, however, the star has become a bit more candid.
I'm Poppy. I'm Poppy. I'm Poppy. I'm Poppy. I'm Poppy. I am Poppy. I'm Poppy.
Poppy's actual name is Mariah Pereira, and she's not the android she portrays online. Before Pereira became Poppy, she was a brunette who performed YouTube covers of popular songs, just like scores of other YouTubers before her. In a 2019 NME profile, the star publicly broke character for the first time and admitted that she was raised in Nashville, where she spent a lot of time alone in her bedroom before moving to Los Angeles to pursue her career. Today, she owns a Sphinx cat named Pi to keep her company. In her 2019 NME profile, the singer admitted that she would intentionally isolate herself from a lot of things when she was younger. This included public school, where she was bullied for being skinny and quiet. Poppy further explained, "I didn't have a positive experience at public school. I barely said any words, so that kind of opened me up in a way to be the target of everyone's teasing." Poppy ultimately withdrew from public school to be homeschooled, and her social life continued to deteriorate. The singer primarily studied alone in her bedroom, using the internet to help her learn everything she needed to know. She said, "The internet was my teacher."
Thanks for watching my video. I love the internet so much.
Poppy's 2020 album, I Disagree, garnered a glowing review from The Needle Drop, which is a crowning achievement for any internet-raised musician. Nonetheless, Poppy's childhood dream wasn't to become a singer, a YouTuber, or a Hollywood celebrity. She wanted to dance. According to YouTube channel Before They Were Famous, the singer practiced dance for 11 years before she ever started working on her voice. Her father was reportedly a drummer who toured with the Rockettes and Cyndi Lauper, and Poppy dreamed of becoming a dancer in the famed troupe. Poppy never realized her childhood dream, but you could say she did one better. There aren't too many Rockettes gracing magazine covers or making some serious YouTube bank, and she's allegedly worth between $1 million and $5 million. According to Business Insider, Rockettes make less than $40,000 a year.
It fits.
According to NME, Poppy didn't tell her family that she signed her first major label record deal. In fact, she moved to Los Angeles without telling a soul after inking a contract under the name That Poppy. She told NME, "I kept everyone in the dark because I didn't want anyone to get in the way." Strangely enough, it wasn't the record deal that changed Poppy's life. Rather, she succeeded in spite of it, not because of it, explaining, "I went through the circus at that label, the changing of the representatives or whatever, and I was coming to find out I was actually just in a really bad deal." Poppy ended up meeting her longtime collaborator, Titanic Sinclair, whose real name is Corey Mixter, through a mutual friend not long after her move, and the pair began making YouTube videos together against the wishes of her label. She told NME, they were like, "Hey, we don't think we should make these videos. Why are you making these videos?" I was like, "Why are you working at a record label?"
You need to stop worrying so much.
Over the years, Poppy struggled to find the right label. She claimed that labels acted like Titanic Sinclair was the person in charge, even though they were true collaborators, and she was responsible for a great deal of their vision. She said in the NME interview, not to go into gendering it and having it.
The Arthurian people, Pleiadian people, and the Syrian people came to this world to teach and give humans the key to open your eyes within. Anunnaki claim themselves like those protecting humans from the species like snakes and the giants. The idea of human gods was created in Atlantean times by the Arthurians and the Orion people. Syrian people came to this world in a triangle spaceship. They taught the architects of this world how to create the.
So here it is, the real story of Earth as I've been told. This planet was not the result of a big bang or the creation of God as you understand God from the teachings we've been taught. This planet was seeded with life by race of benevolent aliens from a planet called Eden. It's located in the Centauri star system. And when I say life, I mean all of it, especially us. This race of beings are immortal, and for millions of years they developed all that has ever lived on this planet. It was their seed bank, lovingly referred to as the Garden of Eden, the most beautiful of all planets, by far is Earth. These beings were given the responsibility of populating vast assortment of planets in many places with plant and animal life. It was their job to create, to seed life. Unlike the story we were told, God does not work alone. As you see, we have angels speaking for all of you. And for the record, the entirety of the universe refers to Creator God as the One, and Creator is our fitting assertion. The One is neither alive or dead, male or female, good nor bad. Creator just is. Creator is life, all life. The One is responsible for creating all the framework which functions to provide an environment for everything to exist in. Creator created this planet and all planets you will ever visit. The One was most impressed by the intelligent creatures that function to serve the universe Creator created. The immortals. They are benevolent in nature and guided by love. The craftsmen tasked with maintaining the integrity of what the One had created. Each variety is responsible for its own set of initiatives bestowed upon them. Some maintained light, some sound. Some created lesser beings to inhabit the planets our creators from Eden, seeded with life from their amazing garden, and so on. However, in the face of all the One had created, even Creator was not perfect. The One had made only one mistake, but it was a big one. I'm not going to even pretend I understand it. But in the beginning, when the One was all there was, Creator became lonely. To combat this problem, the One divided itself by 25% to create another, lesser version of itself. This new number 2 quickly realized that's exactly what it was. Lesser. The 1 could have split in half and made them equal, but Creator didn't. And when the 1 finished what Creator had set out to do, create the universe, number 2 took offense to the fact Creator played no role whatsoever in all that was created. Upon realizing the sole purpose of number 2's existence was to keep the 1 from becoming lonely again, Creator decided to leave. Number 2 fell from grace and rejected Creator's place at the side of Creator's Creator and left. At the time, number 2 didn't realize it, but its choice to leave introduced something new to the universe. 2 things actually: conflict and free will. Number 2 took up precedence in a far-off corner of the universe. It didn't take long to realize, though, Creator was all alone just as well, as the 1 had divided itself to solve the same problem. So too did number 2. But number 2 didn't want to face the same dilemma. So Creator divided into 6 equal individuals. And they quickly set out to develop this corner of the universe into their very own version of what the rest of the universe was like. However, the division into 6 individuals had corrupted the very nature of what that being had been in the first place. And the result was a galactic society of miscreants, elites who care 9th division had separated more than just number 2. It deleted key bits of knowledge and understanding from the consciousness of the whole universal subconscious. So when these 6 rejects seeded their own little corner in the universe, they didn't even realize or understand. All the creatures they created to reside on the planets had no soul intact. They were flesh and blood beings who only lived for a certain length of time and would die one day. We were created from the 1 pure just the way we were, with a soul, for our reason for a grand God created conscious reason. It was the intention of our creators for us to be the caretakers and guardians of the Garden of Eden. So this is where the soul was educated and prepared for our role in the afterlife of seeding planets. For us, that was our role after our time expired on Earth. Here we learned the needs of all the plants, animals, insects, and aquamarine life involved with our work. The knowledge was retained by the soul, and upon its arrival back on Eden, could begin working in the field of planet seeding almost immediately was the chore of all beings. When our creators made humans, we were made as 2 halves of a whole. One side of you in the subconscious would exist back home, and the other consciousness is here on Earth.
As the mainstream media stokes fear and division, and the government tells us what we must do, who we can see, and where we can go, behind the scenes, a sinister plan is now being rolled out across America. Buried on page 314 of a document from the desk of Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi, a scheme to enact enormous change to the appearance and value of our money, and possibly a complete and total overhaul of our retail banking system. A change that could impact the savings of millions of Americans, especially those with more than $2,500 in the bank. But then, hours after it surfaced in the halls of Congress, the plan was quickly redacted, scrubbed from existence. What was it they did not want us to see? Today, Jeff Brown, founder and lead investigator for Brownstone Research, part of the international research firm that accurately predicted the fall of the Soviet Union, the dot-com collapse, and President Trump's surprise victory, reveals the full story. Brown will show us why Nancy Pelosi's dangerous new plan is now passing through.
It was a way to never forget home and in times of struggle, a voice of reason to offer advice once self-aware love happened. To you, my friend, so no matter what, you're never alone, like the 1 had once been, that voice in your head.
They were 9-10 feet tall entities, and they told him that they were preparing for an intergalactic war with God, and that they were going to win. What happened was they opened up this portal, they created a rift, and entities began to come through. Not just this Whore of Babylon being birthed, but other entities. The federal government at the highest levels have known that these are not space aliens, that these are entities coming from another dimension.
My name is Wes Fall, and I am part of Fall Brothers Productions and Fourth Watch Films with Justin Fall and with Chad Riley. And the Lord just directed our steps into kind of a full circle. We both went to film school, Justin and I did, years ago, and we had to pay bills, doing other things, but the Lord brought us back to making films. And so it's been a crazy ride, but I'm just glad to be here and doing what the Lord's called us to do.
My name is Justin Fall. And my background is in film production. I'm a film student from the Art Institute of Atlanta, and I'm also a career researcher. My main focus in life is to be able to wake up the church. I want to be able to better equip the church, and I want them to understand that the times they're going to be coming upon the face of this earth, which we are approaching. No one would deny that crazy prophecies are being fulfilled right now, things that 100 years ago, the average Christian would not have understood the scripture the way that they would today, based on the unfolding of events that we're seeing. And so as a career researcher, my ministry is all about equipping the saints for the last days, equipping the tribulation saints, even if you want to use that language, but also to join the conversation of the world. I think that Christians need to be able to join the conversation about the paranormal, about the crazy topics. We need to join that conversation and give a biblical answer that will cause the world to want to draw near unto Christ.
We looked at this alien question. You can go back to even the past election in 2016. Hillary was talking about how if she won, she was going to.
Your brain's new best friend. Meet mushroom coffee with lion's mane. Over 60% of Americans drink a cup of coffee every morning. And while many love this routine, the taste, the ritual, they hate the negative side effects that so often come with it. This is where our favorite duo, mushrooms plus coffee, comes in. If you're wondering why Four Sigmatic would ever combine mushrooms with coffee, let me break it down for you. First, the type of mushrooms we use at Four Sigmatic are called functional mushrooms. They are very different than most mushrooms you have ever had. Many of them have been used in cultures across the world for thousands of years for things like productivity, immune system support, stress support, and more. They were traditionally consumed as a tea and are known as tonics, meaning they're meant to be used long-term as a daily support for overall well-being. We know it's really hard to start a new habit, especially one where the best results are seen when taken every single day, and one that involves ingredients you may have never heard of, like lion's mane. So we thought about what habits people already do every day to make it as easy as possible to add these functional ingredients into your daily routine. Hence, mushroom coffee. Mushroom coffee is real coffee, so it tastes just like coffee, not like mushrooms. The synergy of the ingredients helps productivity, creativity, and many of the things you may be looking for in your morning cup of joe. Essentially, you get to keep your favorite morning ritual and get an effective dose of functional mushrooms to support productivity. Win-win. Mushroom ground coffee with lion's mane is a single origin, organic, and fair trade coffee made with 100% Arabica beans from Southwest Honduras, combined with your brain's BFF, lion's mane mushroom, for a truly elevated cup of coffee. Brew in a coffee machine, French press, pour over, or even as a cold brew. For those on the go, try mushroom coffee with lion's mane in instant single-serving packets for whenever you need a pick-me-up. Simply pour the contents of the packet into a cup, cover with 1 cup of hot water, stir, and enjoy. I can't wait for you to try it. Tag @4sigmatic to let us know what you think, or head to 4sigmatic.com to connect with us further.
Open the vault and get into basically exposing what UFOs are and the alien question. We wanted to look at it in the biblical aspect of it and to try to break down.
My next guest was diagnosed with dyslexia when he was just 5 years old. And despite having...
Imagine a world where nothing is random, and major events that happen worldwide were written down hundreds of years ago. What you're about to hear was recorded in 1967, and it perfectly describes the world we live in today.
What was the secret?
The all-seeing eye, symbols of the guardians of the treasure.
Recorded by Myron C. Fagan, a famous Hollywood writer who rose through the ranks of the Hollywood elite, uncovering some nasty secrets along the way. He made it his life's work to expose the darkness that he personally saw with his own 2 eyes. This recording is a culmination of his life's work, and through a historical lens, he reveals what's been hiding in the shadows for hundreds of years. What you're about to hear is not conspiracy theory. Rather, it's documented historical fact that holds up to the most rigid scrutiny. And without further ado, I bring you the Illuminati and the Council on Foreign Relations.
The question of how and why the Illuminati is the crux of the great conspiracy to destroy the sovereignty of the United States and the enslavement of the American people within a UN one-world dictatorship is a complete and unknown mystery to the vast majority of the American.
Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hello there, welcome back.
So, guys, we just did a video that's going to be up on Just Rumble and Brightian, and just because it's a very hot, controversial one, I'm sure. I mean, it's stuff we've covered in the past, but it feels like everything is going to a different level, and it's very, very directly spoken. So again, you know, you could always go and check out our Rumble and
part of the job description was you will be part of a team that protects free speech online, which makes it seem very heroic. Felt like you were putting on a cape, working at Google.
Over the past year, I've been reporting on the lives of Facebook's content
It's open.
moderators in America, and they've told me about their low pay, their dire working conditions, and in some cases, the long-term mental health consequences of doing the work that they do. A content moderator is kind of like a police officer for the internet. You ever see something that you think doesn't belong on a site and you report it? That report is going to be reviewed by a human being. And while a lot of what they see is really benign, like spam, for example, some of it's really disturbing. I'm talking about murder, terrorism, and child exploitation. Recently, I started seeking out people who did this kind of work for Google and YouTube. I wanted to see how their experiences compared to the ones I'd heard about already. And what I did learn surprised me.
Hi, honey.
Jesus Christ.
What?
Fucking vacuum.
Oh, the vacuum
Free?
thing?
Free?
You're still worried about
Free.
vacuum?
No,
That's right. TurboTax
There.
Free Edition is free.
Oh,
See
okay.
details at turbotax.com.
Part of, doing our job and how they would make us kind of feel better about it was that, you guys see this so other people don't have to see this, right?
Over the course of my reporting, I talked to both people who worked at Google full-time and people who had been hired on through third-party contractors. It became clear to me that no matter who hired you, doing this job over a long enough time period can cause significant mental health consequences. But it also became clear to me that there is a big difference in how Google employees get treated and how those third-party contractors get treated. Today, a former full-time Google employee named Daisy Soderberg Rivkin is going on the record to talk about her experiences as a content moderator. She had access to all the perks and all the benefits that come with being a full-time Google employee, but at the end of the day, that didn't save her from the consequences of doing the job.
I was a legal root removals associate, which is a very fancy way of saying I was a content moderator at Google.
Let's talk about what the job actually was. You show up, you have your orientation, you sit down at your computer, it's time to do your job. What is your job?
So you usually start your work by going through a queue. So you're assigned to a queue based on either an issue area or a geographic area. So I focused on the French market because my first languages were French and English, and I also worked on our child sexual abuse imagery cases and our terrorism cases.
And you were working primarily on web search, right?
Yes. We, as in-house content moderators, we would usually handle more high-level complex issues. So certain things that were very high volume, such as defamation and copyright, were typically sent over to contractors. They would then escalate to us if it was kind of a gray area, and if it was even a gray area for us, we would then escalate to our council. So it was kind of levels of how specialized we were.
At what point did you start to feel like you were seeing more disturbing stuff than you expected?
Very early on, they said we would be analyzing child sexual abuse imagery, but I remember very clearly in parentheses it said this kind of content would be limited to 1 to 2 hours per week. And in reality,
everybody gets a treat.
6 hours
Give that one for Midget.
which
That one for
is,
Bubba.
sounds like nothing,
That's
but
a
it's
good one.
actually,
Here go, Midget.
it's a lot.
Yeah.
Those are
When
the
did you
cute.
first notice that doing this job was
She'll love 'em.
starting to affect your mental health?
Yeah.
When I was
every dog
walking around
loves
San
these
Francisco,
things.
actually,
They're the
and
bestest.
I was with one of my friends, and we
Like,
saw
ooh, yeah,
a
that's
group
good.
of
That's really
kids, toddlers, that were
That's
hanging
good,
on
Midget.
to one of those ropes so that they don't go far. I looked at them, and then I kind of blinked once, and suddenly I just had a flash of images of some of the images I had seen. Children being tied up, children being raped at that age. You know, this is 3 years old. I kind of like stopped, and I was kind of blinking a lot, and my friend had to make sure I was okay, and I had to sit down for a second, and I just exploded crying. She was like, "What just happened?" And I couldn't explain it to her, and I just these racing thoughts, and then an instant panic attack. I was having nightmares. I wasn't sleeping. I had spent multiple days just crying in the bathroom. And, you know, I was having all of these panic attacks. And my work productivity just dipped. And finally, you know, my manager was like, "Listen, we really need you to step up your productivity game." And I just snapped, and I turned to him and I said, "Do you understand what we're looking at? And we're not machines, we're humans. So we have emotions, and those emotions are deeply scarred by looking at children being raped all the time and people getting their heads chopped off. It was like there was no escape." And I finally snapped, and they took that as, "Oh, she needs to take a second. She needs to breathe." And I said, "No, I need to leave. The free food, the nap pods, all these benefits, this doesn't mean anything if this is my day to day."
Daisy helped me
Yeah,
understand
that was
how
good.
hard this
God,
job
that
is
was
to
really
do, even
good.
when you
Those
work
are
in
so
the greatest
good.
office in the world.
Man, those
But the
are
truth is
good.
that most
Those
people
are
don't
really
work in an
good.
office half that
Those are
nice.
good.
One of
Let's
Google's
dog crap.
biggest projects that
Let's
it has
talk
to
dog
moderate,
crap.
of course, is YouTube.
Yeah, that's
And
good.
when it comes to
Onion juice.
YouTube,
That was
Google has
really
decided to
good.
give most of the work of
Yes,
content
what was
moderation
that? That
to
was so
third-party
good.
contractors.
Was that crack?
Recently, I went to Austin, Texas to meet with a group of moderators who work for Accenture on the YouTube project. Specifically, they work on what is called the VEQ, VE standing for Violent Extremism. 120 times a day, they review YouTube videos that have terrorism, graphic violence, and other disturbing content. You're about to hear from one of them, and we've altered the audio to protect their identity.
So at the beginning, they told you to watch some videos and you can take some actions to avoid YouTube policies. But you don't feel how this is going to impact you.
In some ways, the content moderators who do this work for Google and YouTube are treated better than the ones who work for Facebook. Most prominently, they get 2 hours of break time each day, basically 2 hours of paid leave in which they can recover from the challenges of doing this work. But most of them aren't able to take a full 2 hours a day.
They force you information to have to be sitting under this time or that. And if you don't, there's will be emotions, schedules will be changed, you'll be ruptured, and this is going to affect my mood. I will be looking my 3 hours.
Baby midget.
What kind of things do they do that make life hard?
Did you get your treat, Beanie? Did you eat your treat? Good boy. I know he's very, very scared of midget. He's very, very scared of midget. He's just very scared. He's just really scared.
They're constantly reminding you how easily you can be replaced.
He's like, you got any more of that dog crap? Here, let's go get you guys. Whoa, midget. Are you okay, baby? Midget. Are you okay? Oh my god! She stuck her foot by the candle.
Company told me that it takes the health of its workers very
It couldn't
seriously
have
and pointed
hurt her
out
that
that
bad.
it offers on-site counseling to both its
Midget,
full-time
are you
employees
okay,
and to its
baby?
contractors.
Midget, it's okay, midget. It's okay. Here you go, midget. Here you go, midget. Here you go, baby.
The
Here you
counselor
go,
she had
midget. Here you go,
ultimately
baby.
told her
Here you
to
go,
seek
honey.
outside help
Here
and
you
get
go,
a therapist.
baby.
Daisy also
Here you go,
eventually took
midget.
medical
I
leave
think her foot
and
stepped in the
ultimately got an
candle
emotional
wax.
support animal to help her.
It's also
It's a
tipped
dog
sideways.
named
she might
Stella.
have tipped it.
Oh, baby girl. Oh, fuck.
Snap your
Damn
W-2
it.
and file Fed and state
Fuck, how does shit like that even happen,
simple
dude?
tax returns
This kind of shit happens to Bubba,
Get the
too. I'm like, how
TurboTax
does that
app
even
now.
fucking happen? How does a dog stick to fuck?
They
Oh,
fucking.
Midget, baby, I'm so sorry, honey. Midget, I'm sorry, baby.
This is a real B&H customer story. Steph Manders came to B&H to take her photography to the next level. She's an artist by choice, pizza maker by birth, and B&H customer for life. Am I missing anything here?
Teacher, entrepreneur, product designer,
Midget, honey, I'm
and a
sorry,
restaurateur.
baby. I'm sorry,
Impressive.
honey.
Steph, I gotta be honest, I don't know where to look
sorry,
first. Is that a microscope?
Yeah, that's my trinocular
sorry,
axiolab, and that's what I use to make BioArt.
BioArt?
sorry,
What's that?
BioArt is where science and art meet.
Amazing. So what came first, camera or the microscope?
So first came the microscope, then the camera, and thankfully that's where B&H stepped in. When I first went to B&H trying to find a camera for my microscope, I thought it was a little oddball request, but turns out they've done this before and they knew exactly what I was looking for. What's great about working with people at B&H is that they use the gear that they're selling.
So what are you looking at now?
Cheese, sauce, peppers, onions, olives, pizza toppings.
I'm sensing a theme here.
Yeah, my family started a pizza restaurant in 1960.
Whoa, 60 years of pizza. What's the secret?
We use cheddar cheese.
Huh. Okay. So what's next for you, Steph?
I want to take this tiny thing that I've been looking at and blow it up using projectors. I just have to figure out what equipment I need.
I like where this is going.
So B&H, we're gonna talk again.
Steph, we're always here when you need us. Be sure to save me a slice. For your next project, head to the experts, bnh.com.
Oh yeah, I've definitely put him under the microscope. Cat fur looks crazy.
Yeah. I'm gonna nickname myself.
High five.
You know, people say.
I found a psychiatrist.
You're like this close to somebody and you see each other, they thank you. 3 times I've had people like fucking in their house and shit. And I'm like, thank you. You're welcome.
For what? What?
When I get scared, like when I bump into somebody when I shouldn't, I'm getting into shit or something, and they see me and they catch me, like, thank you.
Thank you for.
I don't know. That's what they say though.
Really?
It's weird. 3 times it's happened. I'm getting caught the rights and put it in hands in the cookie jar. And they're like, thank you. Okay, and I just leave.
They say thank you?
Thank you 3 times. Yeah, for what? I don't know.
Thank you 3 times.
Yeah, three separate occasions.
Oh.
In the community, and the fucking people caught me in the shit. And they said thank you. Like, Like, thank you for not killing you, but I didn't say nothing like that. So, I guess that's what they mean. I don't know.
Huh.
I don't know what.
Weird.
Yeah, it's just something, some instinct that goes. And one dude, I fucking knocked him out. He woke up screaming. He didn't know his name. I was scared to death. He stole a fucking laptop from my homie that was going to college. And then he showed it back up. I was like, "This is the same guy?" He's like, "Yeah." Open the coffee table, knocked him the fuck out, take him, knocked him in the head. He woke up and goes, "What's my name?" You know when they ask? I think it's probably because when they ask you, the doctors ask you, when you come back from so at first, I was third strike coming, but then he came to and shit.
Oh shit.
It's like, you know what I did that for, right? Fucking Tom's laptop. You know what I'm saying? Fucking whatever. But yeah, that's right. And then one dude was like, he asked me 3 questions. He was like, something, what do I do? I see him with his fucking side of a sword. Fucking slapping him in the fucking face with it. And then fucking, he got cut on the top and the bottom, even though the bottom was only sharp, because his skin will fucking, because it was fucking like that thing. It was a huge, thick one. Like a fucking big knife. I had it on from some Norteño. I had it for collateral for a ball of dope or some shit. And fucking, I had that on me, and he's stolen Shannon's glasses. He's like, "Yeah, you let him do it." Blah 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 blah. And then fucking. Then I saw him in treatment. He ran his feet off. His feet were bare, and then he fucking had no skirt from his feet.
I've done that before.
Because he was on the run, so I felt sorry for him. So I caught him. Initially, he stole my laptop, but because I caught him, there's on public land. It was in my cave, so I was like, "No big deal. I'm not gonna trip about that." He's like, "He's on DLC, running from DLC, blah blah blah." He's got $30 worth some shit. So I saw him $30 worth of shit. Well, coming back 3 days later, with the feet walked off. He didn't have any shoes on. He's been walking through the woods all the time, high. And so then he jacks the sunglasses, and then fucking
humans will run till
I
they don't
slap
have
him
any
with
feet.
a sword, and then fucking he buys his shirt, and then fucking I don't know how, because I just go right in the store. I'm on my bike. I ride the bike out to the fucking store through the doors. This motherfucker was with skinned off feet. Somehow makes it out the door. He's like, right from here to there. Buy him something real quick to make sure the car works. I don't know why he gave me those first. After I had to slap him, still felt bad for him because he ran from DLC. Like,
Right.
Whatever. That's how I'm treating. I'm like, "Are you the dude that was up in the mountains that we walked the bottom
He's
off the feet?"
astounded?
He goes, "I bought these shoes." That was his answer.
Really?
Yeah. I bought these shoes.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I found a therapist. The psychiatrist put me on antidepressants. I was diagnosed with chronic anxiety
Poor
and
little
PTSD.
baby.
And then I started seeing
I
a
love
therapist
you,
just to
Midget. You
talk
poor girl,
through these
honey.
things. And she said, "Is legal removals associate anything close to a content moderator?" And I said, "It is a content moderator." And she said, "Trust me when I say you are not the first person that I've seen with this particular issue."
It seems like recovering from doing this job has itself been a full-time job.
Oh yeah. Whenever someone talks to me about content moderation, I say I'm a recovering content moderator. They're like, "Oh, you talk about it like it's like alcoholism." And I said, "Well, you never fully recover."
One of the things that is so interesting to me
You bought a
about your story is that you are one of the very few people I've talked to who did content moderation as a full-time employee of a company rather than a contractor. You had access to 6 months of paid medical leave. A contractor who's like moderating for YouTube in Austin doesn't have that same access.
I had those months to think about my choices and to think about ways out without having to deal with unemployment or having to deal with, how am I going to pay rent? And I know those contractors don't have that opportunity.
The contractors I've talked with in Austin are making $18.50 an hour, about $37,000 a year. Does that seem like a high enough wage given some of the risks involved?
Absolutely not. There's never going to be enough money to make this okay. I'm going to be clear about that. But I think that you need to pay contractors proportional to what they're going through, the impact of their work, because this is so vital to the business.
Let's put a fine point on it. Google can't exist without the work that you did, right? Like you were responding to official legal requests from governments that would have otherwise shut Google down in their country if you didn't respond.
Exactly.
So this is very high stakes work. And yet for some reason, these companies have just chosen not to value it.
Yeah, I think that contractors are so essential
especially considering how much volume we have. We need as many people as we can doing this work. We also need to change the overall system and the overall structure of how this work is being done, how we support these people, how we give them tools and resources to deal with these things, or else these problems are only going to get worse.
Hey, thanks for watching, and don't leave any comments. It will only create more work for the content moderators. But if you want to know more about what's going on with our wayward tech platforms, I write a daily newsletter called The Interface about the collision between big social networks and democracy. You can find it and subscribe for free at theverge.com/interface.
Son, we're grabbing burgers for dinner if you're interested.
I'm vegan, Walter.
What happened to Facebook? I mean, it used to be cool, right?
It's massively problematic.
My entire youth is archived on Facebook, from the good times to the bad times. But now it's become this toxic political wasteland. When did it start pulling apart the fabric of our society?
We certainly have a big responsibility to make sure that we address all of the new threats that come from the internet.
Self-regulation simply does not work. These companies are too powerful. These companies control what we see.
We should absolutely be terrified about Facebook.
Where is everybody? Is everybody at home on Facebook?
Vaping illness blamed for fun. Antifa is carrying out CDC recommends against e-cigarettes, and us parents should know.
As clickbait headlines warp our view of the world, we're going down the rabbit hole to ask, how afraid should we really be? On this episode, Facebook.
QAnon crackdown. Facebook banning pages devoted to the Fringe conspiracy movement.
Australia's government is slamming Facebook's decision to block users in the country from all news content on its platform.
We have created tools that are ripping apart the social fabric of how society works.
Facebook to me is not cool, but I guess more people than ever are using it, despite that it always seems to be in a bit of hot water. I was once a very active user of Facebook. I'm not kidding when I say my youth is archived on the platform. But after 2016, things got weird.
I guess 2016 was a wake-up call for the world about how Facebook could be used to spread disinformation. What happened was that the Russian government, using the Internet Research Agency out of St. Petersburg, was able to set up groups and accounts that pretended to be on both sides of the aisle. They saw that they could very easily use Facebook to make these incendiary comments that would drive people crazy. And by doing that, they were just pitting people against each other and hoping that they would clash. They did. What they wanted to do was just create chaos so that you wouldn't know if the person you were looking at or the comment you were looking at was written by your friend or by someone in St. Petersburg.
Since then, the company has claimed to have made a number of changes to counter election interference.
We've been able to build systems that can proactively identify a lot of those efforts at this point.
But Pandora's box was already open. What Russia did in 2016 was kind of show people how you don't have to tell the truth on Facebook.
Flash forward to 2020, I've seen a lot of COVID skepticism play out on Facebook.
It seems way too perfect, and now that we all of a sudden have a vaccine, seems a little perfect too.
I believe in the science of vaccines. I don't think what's in the needle is all good for you. I think there's stuff in the needle that's very harmful.
I get news from Facebook, obviously, because the national news just doesn't seem to be hitting anywhere anymore.
During this lockdown, I really had the time to okay, I'm going to sit down and spend 2 hours on this interview with this doctor and see what's going on here.
There's so much information out there. There's the black, there's the white, and there's everything in the middle, which is
fucking confusing.
As public officials wavered in their COVID-19 response,
Supposing we hit the body with a tremendous, whether it's ultraviolet or just very powerful light.
conspiracy theories were amplified on social media. Then in May, the conspiracy documentary Plandemic became a viral hit and was widely shared on Facebook.
Like the first thing I saw that got really censored hardcore was the Plandemic video.
There is no dissenting voices allowed anymore in this free country, which is something I never thought I would live to see.
While the documentary was only on Facebook for less than a week, it had been viewed millions of times, and the removal of the video only created more alarm bells surrounding censorship.
So how does Facebook decide what's fake and what's real?
Facebook moderates posts through user complaints and machine learning. Artificial intelligence does a quick scan of the post to validate the complaint before it is passed to one of 15,000 human moderators to determine if the post goes against the company's community guidelines.
It's not just right-wing, MAGA-loving anti-vaxxers that spread misinformation on Facebook.
Everyone from the far left to the far right is capable of spreading disinformation, even unintentionally. This photo is real, but put a fake quote from Donald Trump's mother on it, and you've got shareable fake content.
Disinformation, it depends on what side you're defending or what you believe.
But with more than 2.74 billion active users across the globe, moderating Facebook is a gargantuan task.
It's a constant game of kind of, okay, we're trying to stop this problematic content, but something else is going to come along a couple of days later to challenge us again.
David Gilbert has been reporting on Facebook for years and recently documented the platform's laundering of the QAnon conspiracy from its origins on message boards to the mainstream.
QAnon initially started to move into the mainstream about a year ago at the beginning of the pandemic. When lockdown happened, people were at home, and a lot more people started getting into it.
While QAnon was still being passed around fringe corners of the internet like 4chan and 8kun, users started bringing it onto Facebook.
People within the QAnon community saw what was happening and saw that more people were coming to it from a very much mainstream audience. So what they did was they shifted the message to kind of strip away the QAnon and a lot of the really out there conspiracy theories, and they focused essentially on the Save the Children campaign. That's how a lot of people got so-called red pill.
QAnon organizers began using the hashtag Save the Children to recruit followers on mainstream platforms. Meanwhile, legitimate century-old charity Save the Children had to release a statement that they were unaffiliated with the campaigns using their name and hashtag, which became an internet gateway drug to push believers into the deeper, darker parts of the QAnon conspiracy, with bizarre, baseless claims ranging from Hillary Clinton is the leader of a cabal that drinks the blood of children, and that a great storm would come in which Donald Trump would defeat the deep state.
But Facebook was warned about it a long time before they took any action. And they did take action. They took action late summer. It was pretty effective. They got rid of most of the accounts, most of the big groups. But at that stage, it was kind of too late.
Facebook purged whole communities from the platform and made it impossible to search for QAnon terms like Where We Go One, We Go All, Save the Children, and Great Awakening.
So far, since they implemented this, it's been very, very effective. They did that, and a couple of months later, it was Stop the Steal that they were trying to stop.
The Stop the Steal movement, which alleged systemic voter fraud in the 2020 election, culminated with a mob storming the Capitol building during the election certification on January 6th. Facebook removed Stop the
I've lived on the beach most of my life. The connection Charlie and I have is making me take this risk of moving to the mountains.
I really need someone who wants to live off grid.
I just saw a rattlesnake, and I'm not into it.
I've never lived miles from civilization.
Fertility has dropped worldwide at the same rate as sperm count has declined.
How panicked should I be about this? Are your erections rigid enough for intercourse?
Certainly, sperm counts are falling. So there is a reason to be concerned.
There'd be a lot to produce in here.
The most important cause is the chemicals in our environment that can affect our body's natural hormones.
Yeah, just keep on rolling until we get kicked out. If they're like everywhere, you're exposed to it again and again and again.
Hydroxypropylene. It's like, what is in all this stuff? Why do you need all this stuff?
I think what we need now is outrage, because the things that we're exposed to, we didn't ask for.
Are doomsday preppers right? Brink of a worldwide mysterious monoliths have been appearing. Gun taxes could plague California.
As clickbait headlines warp our view of the world, we're going down the rabbit hole to ask, how afraid should we really be? On this episode, a looming spermageddon.
Epidemiologists have found humans across the globe are becoming increasingly less fertile.
After finding Western men are only half as fertile as they were just 40 years ago.
You're certainly going to have more and having trouble having children.
There's been a lot of buzz over the years about a supposed spermageddon, but I hadn't really paid much attention to it until recently.
Give me that back. Hey, stop that.
My significant other and I recently became puppy parents, which sometimes feels like a test run to fatherhood.
Millhouse.
But for a generation who put off raising kids to nurture careers, the spermageddon scenario seems apocalyptic.
For like a long time, we were taught, don't have a baby, then you'll ruin your life. And then now that we're in our 30s and we're thinking about having a baby, it's scary to think, like, what if we can't?
I arranged to sit down with Dr. Swan, who recently published a book encapsulating her many decades of research on falling sperm counts and declining reproductive health. What has been the trend of sperm count in the last couple of decades?
Over the last basically 40 years, sperm count has dropped at a little bit faster than 1% per year. It went from 99 million sperm in a milliliter to 40.
Maybe it goes back to that forager, like hunter-gatherer mindset, the thrill of the hunt.
I'm Erin Sheffield.
My name's Dave Sheffield.
I am a care coordinator for people with developmental disabilities.
I own a small manufacturing business.
When we're not doing that, we go dumpster diving.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
We sell the things that we find and keep the money.
See, that just made my fucking day. Now everybody that watched that
could do this 60 hours a week and probably make like $100,000 a year doing it.
Look, he makes $100,000 a year.
Mainly on eBay. We're saving up money from dumpster diving for a boat.
See, yeah. Quit giving away your hustle, dumbass.
I want to do some dumpster diving.
I started dumpster diving back in college, just picking stuff out like a hot pot. Oh, there's a hot pot. I need one of those.
I was in a big, long stretch dumpster, kind of like picking through stuff. And she kind of walked up behind me and was like, "Hey, what are you doing in there?"
And you picked up
started talking, and I was like, "Yeah, there's more dumpsters down there. You should go check them out." And then like 5 minutes later, we met at the same dumpster. And then I gave her a ride to the next one and worked up the courage to ask her out. That's like 13 years, I guess. So 13 years.
13 years.
They met in a dumpster.
It's a bag of sponge candy. That's too heavy for me.
Our friend really likes this. We don't like it as much.
I'm a case manager for people living with developmental disabilities, trying to meet their needs for programs and supports in home, at work, whatever they need. I'm there.
I have a manufacturing business where we make a bunch of different products, mainly bottle openers made from golf balls, baseballs, hockey pucks, a bunch of other like gift items.
When we were first dumpster diving, it was more to see what stuff we could get. Lately, Dave has really taken it to a new realm.
So this is our inventory of all the various dumpster finds that we've got. I started selling some of my like excess stuff on like eBay and realized kind of how easy it was. The light bulb went off. An old like amplifier that like your father probably had in his garage. This thing sells on eBay for like $400. Somebody who resells Xboxes will buy this on eBay for $30. The man following you around. This is like a $500 or $600 bottle of champagne. So this will sell on eBay for like $30. Used disposable cameras. And I messaged the guy on eBay because I was like, why are you buying these? And apparently there's like capacitors in there that he uses for like
flux capacitor.
Yeah.
He's building a time machine.
Yeah, right.
Like at a certain point, it becomes more than just like beer money or like pocket money. Pay rent.
Right.
We repaired our furnace with like cash I got from scrapping. Our costs doing this, well, I mean, the biggest one is our time. I bet you I fill up my truck 2 to 3 times a month, and that's $50 to fill up. So call it $150. Maintenance and tires and things like that. It's probably like call it $50 a month and maintenance, fees for selling things online. If I look back over like the last 3-4 months, I've been consistently making like
It's
$3,000
like-
to $4,000 a month.
Real team.
I started
Right next to
looking
me,
on
so tax
Craigslist
and
and Facebook Marketplace for
Let's
a
go on with
boat. 10 grand sounded like a good round number in my head. I set up some alerts for Craigslist. We are headed to Office Depot and GNC. I'd say like 30% of the time I find something. That could be like a 50-cent chunk of metal. It could be, hundreds of dollars worth of stuff. But
Oh, hi.
oh, okay.
We're sorry.
All right, we'll get out of here.
Okay, someone took this first. We had liability.
Sure.
We understand. We're sorry.
Okay, thank you.
That woman was actually really, really kind and just politely asked us to leave. She didn't ask us to put anything back, which was great. He actually made a map of the entire city, went around and drove to every dumpster and figured out what was in it, when is a good time to come. So it's not just a couple routes. He's got like a systematic map of every place to go. He knows every dumpster in this city, I'm pretty sure.
We are at a company that maintains copiers and printers. This is a perfect example. This is like a brand new part. It's got the part number on it. So I would just type this into eBay. Some of this stuff is like, we won't be able to resell them, but we can scrap them. But even if it's just scrap, that's still 7 cents a pound. So it adds up. This is a drum unit for a printer, and this would likely sell for between $50 and $100. It says like used out of order, but I can tell just by experience that that's one of those parts that if you buy new is probably $300 or $400. $150 part new, so it might be $20 or $30 used.
When he shows me what he's selling, sometimes I'm like, I can't believe somebody bought that, but they do, and like we keep making more money.
Okay, I can work with this. Oh, bread, yeah.
I like to find food items in the dumpster because I know that if it's not something I like, we can give it away to people in our community for free. If it's like produce, anything green, we can usually give it to our chickens. They love everything.
May 28th, organic.
I want chickens.
2% milk.
Person had chickens to have chickens.
I'm gonna drink that. I drink a lot of milk.
Sure, I still would have that.
I'll probably drink a couple of those. I'm gonna drink that milk. We'll put it out. People will take it. We live in a neighborhood where there's a lot of need, and we just put it between the sidewalk and the street. And within an hour, it's usually gone. It's like our own little mini food bank. We talked about starting a family. We talked about like getting a bigger house and like so we could have like 50 chickens, and they really like the lettuce.
Yeah, I don't think either of us would have bought a boat on our own, but together we decided we both wanted to. I grew up my dad always had a boat.
I feel like I haven't been growing up enough to like have a boat. Like I haven't had my stuff together. I think it's like part of like being in like a stable relationship. I feel like I have my shit more together than I would you.
Aww.
Team, us can manage a boat.
Dave has taken it to a different level even than that, is going to the stores and stuff.
There's definitely some like dumpster diving things that could scale up.
Pitter patter, let's get at her.
One of the places that I go to regularly, they refurbish emergency vehicles. So like a cop car or an ambulance. I just started a conversation with them like, oh yeah, I stop here pretty regularly, and you guys throw away a lot of material that I can scrap for money. Looks like a brand new car seat. It's definitely at least like $260. Why do you just throw it out? And they're like, well, we can't be bothered. Like it's just too much of a hassle. And so I just said, okay, well, if I give you guys some containers, would you just set it aside? And they said, yeah, sure. Cool. If I can sell these for $50-$60 a piece, that's another $120. And this is probably worth $5 or $6 in scrap.
It's weird that they throw it away. This kind of stuff doesn't really thrill me, but the money's good. 1 and a 2 and a 3.
Like it's more than we can even take. Expired April 26th.
Fuckers are giving my shit away.
Yeah. Tastes like potato chips. Maybe it sounds weird to say I'm like passionate about dumpster diving, but it makes us a little bit of money. But somebody's getting some product cheaper than they would have otherwise gotten it. Yeah, it is like not going to a landfill. Found a boat on Craigslist.
We're so excited.
We're going to pick it up.
Tell me what? Caught you in the dumpster if you're late and try to grab that sweatshirt. She's like waiting on the team from
All right, most of it. Yep, you're good. Why is it beeping? Is that little thingy on?
It's possible I might be missing something.
He's gonna call the guy he bought it from to see how to start it.
A couple of times it's gotten close. He said it sounds like it's flooded right now.
All from dumpster diving.
I definitely have like an opportunity mindset about it. Other people like go do it.
We just try to do our part, like as little as it is. And we'd love to pass that on to our kids, to other people in our community too.
I feel like I've thought about that a little bit, about dumpster diving kids.
I got that opinion change. I don't recall what store it was, but I know it's mine.
To them. They'll be like, they won't think it's like weird until their friends tell them it's weird.
I don't have
And then you can like register receipts too.
We kind of joke about it sometimes that I'm like very lucky that I found a girl that is like kind of into the same things that I'm into. And it's like, oh man, you found this in the dumpster? Like that's so awesome.
No.
Like,
I mean like
it's
you
like
get
few and far
rewards and
between.
shit.
Like it was
You get
meant to be.
free stuff.
Go anywhere I want to, stay long as I want to stay. Don't have time to be blue, and I like it that way.
Yeah, Amanda collects receipts and lottery tickets. Amanda, Morris.
Dawn Power Wash Dish Spray. Spray, wipe, rinse. Dawn Power Wash.
What? You know what's going on. Yeah. Oof, I had to straighten that last one out. I saw Brian likes to roll them all tight and small and barely hit.
My mom does that too.
You
drinking, huh? Everybody's drinking. Y'all drinking, right? One thing my father told me, you have to go for it. You have to ask. There's only one or two things going to happen. You're going to get a yes, or you're going to get a no. My name is Session Faluke. Professionally, I'm a first assistant director on production sets. I'm an ex-professional basketball player. I also coach kids. And on the side, I make these drinks called Oye's. Oye's through the summer. I'm lethal weapon, Danny Glover. I have been making drinks since 2005. I started in college. Now, everybody knows me as Oye Mayo. I'm the guy with the drinks. I'm the guy with the Oyes. Everybody in New York City calls them Nutcrackers. Nutcrackers in New York is a summertime staple. You can find Nutcrackers on the beach, festivals, in the street. It's really just a concoction of different liquors with a nice sweet juice taste.
We got blueberries. We got all the flavors.
Oh, he's making food.
No rain, all sun. I mean, you can make upwards of 20K. You're really not allowed to sell Nutcrackers. I was never one of the Nutcrackers that was like, Nutcrackers, like trying to, I got Nutcrackers, I got what you need. No, I don't do things I can't promote. There's a reason why I was never a drug dealer, the reason why I was never a pimp, because I can't
kind of a
promote
cool
them.
fucking
My
idea.
drink, I can promote. Yeah, I've seen it in the New York Times. I was in the New York Times twice for my drinks. I may not be legit now, but the goal is to be legit.
It's going good now. Ooh.
I've been doing this 15 years. 6 years ago, I started the brand Oye's, and from the first day that I started, I saw the vision. I wanted this drink to be in airports. I wanted this drink to be in stores, in bars, everybody's refrigerator. And all this time I've been doing it for the last 6 years, I haven't had that success. However, each year my hustle has increased. So definitely during this time of pandemic, and coronavirus.
I can't
haven't been on
believe
any
Midget
sex
stuck her foot
the
in the
last
fucking
3 to
candle.
5
Oh my
months.
god, I feel
And
terrible.
that's how I make a lot of my money. A lot of the kids are not in school, so I'm not training kids. So this is very important to my livelihood, to keep it afloat, and even more important, and that is putting Oyes
I don't
in the
care how
store,
many
making
times
it
I've heard
something
my
legal,
baby still fucking
and
daddy
making it a
almost
worldwide
died.
phenom.
So many times.
Being out from the neighborhood, Hennessy is one of the people's favorite
Oh, the
drinks. They
neighborhood
love the
is
cognac with the mango. So I'm gonna do the mango, cognac.
Mango
special.
cognac.
Ooh, look at
that
that
sounds
brown. The brown is in town. Yes.
This heart
Cognac, yummy. Me and my brother drank a fucking 50-year-old bottle of cognac one time.
The crazy thing is, like,
we
I've been
didn't.
making these
I
drinks
don't know
so
how
much.
far I got into it.
I
Yeah,
literally
we
don't
were
have
fucking
to
wasted.
unless I'm trying to miss flavor. But besides that, if you know, you know. I won't tell you the type of juice I use because it's a secret. Somebody put me on. They told me not to tell nobody. Because before this, I wasn't using this juice. He told me you got to find juice that's thick and I can hold the liquor.
Oh yeah, that room for Mexican stuff.
Some nutcracker makers, they'll be making cognac and then they'll spike it with some 151. It's like, what are we doing here? That's a headache in the morning. I'm not doing that. I'm getting the cognac. I got the honey. I got the honey cognac. I'll throw about half of that in there. I am from the hood. South side of Jamaica, Queens, the west side of Merrick Boulevard.
Huh.
But
That's
I wasn't
kind of fucking
necessarily
cool,
raised by the
dude. Like, I
hood.
want to do something
It's
like
a word
that.
that I created around the time
I always
that
wanted to get
created
a hot
Oyes.
dog stand,
And the word is
actually.
Shabbalah. And
Or
Shabbalah
an
means
espresso
everything
stand.
righteous moving forward. And it's a Shabbat gang. It's a gang.
On
It's a
Division,
gang.
there
I
was
know
one
Vice.
espresso
I know
stand.
y'all
There's
used to
espresso
gangs,
stands
right?
everywhere,
But this is
on
the
every
most
fucking
positive
block,
gang you
except
ever
for
heard
Division.
of. It's the Shabbat gang.
All the way up
We live
Division.
righteous,
There's
we
no
move
espresso
forward,
stand.
and we about pushing each
There's
other.
no gas stations either. But I wanted to put one right between Northtown and Franklin Park Mall. An espresso stand. Somebody finally did put one there. I knew.
I got a
somebody was
long
going
day
to.
today, man. A bunch of stops.
So
I
that
got
was
about
like my
400 or
dream
500
property.
drinks
I wanted
today.
to put an
So I'm trying to
espresso
sell
stand
them
on.
all. Long Island
Which one,
first,
where?
Queens,
Franklin
Brooklyn,
Park and
Lower East Side,
Northtown
Oyes through
Mall.
the summer. Here we
Right
come.
across the street
I'll
from
teach you a
Franklin
little
Park.
secret.
There's
If you
a
don't freeze
Thai
them overnight, you ain't got
food
enough
restaurant
time. Go buy yourself some dry ice.
right across the street from Franklin Park. Before you get to Ross. Before you get
This is
to
a fun
Trader
track,
Joe's.
man. It's about the Oyes. Every time I get on the road, I'll play this.
Northtown Mall, you know where Northtown Mall is. So after Northtown Mall,
Turn
there's
left
another
on
mall
Stewart Avenue.
on the right by Billy Family Hospital.
Let me
Like we're fucking up. Big the person running it? The person co-packer?
That's Franklin Park.
Or then there's also another fucking place up the road where they got Michael's and fucking.
It used to be a
whatever.
mall there. Franklin Park
Normally,
used to be
I'm
a mall.
selling to New York City. Now, COVID-19 is here. Hey there. How are you?
And then
Good.
Shale used to be a mall too.
I got
Shale
Henny,
Center.
Patron, Ciroc, rum,
It was
honey
more of
jack.
an outside
I
mall.
went backwards. I went backwards
came
about
on
2
right the way
years
out.
into my hustle.
Yeah, Shadle was kind of a.
I used
like
to
back
care
in
about the
60s
customer,
and
but
it's like all
because
this
I was at
fancy
places where
fucking
so many
mall and
people,
shit, yeah.
I just made a good product, and that's all I needed to do.
And so was University
now,
City.
with COVID, I have to
University
make a
City
good
was a
product,
mall too.
and I have to have a good relationship with my customers.
I don't even know if it's called University City anymore, is it?
I don't know.
Oh, it used to be a mall.
Gotta
called
give the
University
love.
City.
Always show the love.
Where Taco Bell is across from Zip Truck out here on fucking University.
I was gonna make it work. You may get 30 of these, but you gonna get a bunch.
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing's fucking got so much reds in it.
Okay.
Clogged.
It's like 2 feet.
It's clogged, dog. I want to
Got
make
the
juice
Patron
like this
mango, I
dude
got the
does.
rum punch.
Do you have to have a
I got
business
2 big ones
license?
in there, just for the love. You know what I'm saying?
I think you should. You're not supposed to, but you got it.
Okay. They just turned 21. Oh yeah. I'll be here every weekend.
He's good people, man. He comes, he says what up. He's a good vibe. He'll do a little extra for the ride.
Yeah, I get a little tip. I like when it is, get a little tip. That's crazy. Right.
He's really good at making connections with people beyond just like the transaction.
I can't do it.
The goal is not to
It's
just be
too
making all this money
clogged.
or be making money or selling drinks until I'm 40, until I'm 50, and then what? One day it hit me, it's like, come on, get it together. Let's get going. So I come up here. Usually I'm making my menus, presentation decks. The decks will be showed to potential investors. Right here, I got my total profits. That was in 2017, about $20,000. Yeah, this is me just having the idea saying, like, I want to put a deck together. I want to present it to somebody. All right, let me just put it together. And I just did it. And I didn't do nothing with it. But now it's
Yeah, because like hot dogs and coffee,
I was
it's
at a
like
point in my life Am I going to continue
pure
to do
profit.
I'm going to continue to be a street merchant.
Yeah,
I got my
yeah,
degree.
yeah,
My
your
resume is
product
long. I've
is
done this. I've done that.
nothing, you know?
I'm going to continue
Yeah.
to do this. And it was like,
So it's a good way.
yes.
Good business model.
I'll take Oye's through the roof.
Hot
I would
dogs
like
and
to show this
coffee.
deck
Just open the
to
restaurant.
future
99 cents.
anybody
Right?
that understands
Yeah,
what it
fuck,
takes
I
to
could,
go
yeah,
from the
totally.
bottom to the top. Those are the people I want to invest in. People that invest in people.
Price a little bit because there'd be a lot of people. Let you get less customers.
Right now we're in Brooklyn. We're about to go see my man Ken Super, big time fashion guy, man. He been doing it for a minute. Him and his friends will buy a couple drinks. That's the Kid Super package.
Here you go, baby. I don't know how it all works legally, but it feels legal to me. To get drunk.
To get drunk? To get drunk?
That's what he had.
Like-
I meant like medium drunk.
Here you go.
So he's doing this totally illegally?
Big $20 bottle. I take you right where you need to be.
You know what you need? You need a Jaeger one.
I know.
I'll hook you up with Jaeger.
Definitely.
I would love that.
No, definitely. Definitely.
No, I'll literally hit her up right now.
Hit her up, call her, put her on speaker. Let's talk about it.
He was like Patron,
It's drunk,
Penny.
but-
I was like, where's the Jaeger version?
Fuck, I can taste it in my mouth right now. The
And
hangover
so
of
he's,
it.
he's ready to
The
talk.
hangover of
business.
tequila too. I can taste
And we're
that
thinking
too.
the launch party is the back.
And I
of
drink
the pool.
3. I fucking drink.
That's
Mentos.
how it works. And we're on Vice
I was just like Kool-Aid, and I drank. I was on like my 3rd bottle, and I don't remember.
We'll show you. Come in, Vice. Come in,
I
Vice.
have
I
overwhelming
couldn't
desires.
eat anything strawberry for like 25 years after that. What?
Yeah,
I have
right here.
overwhelming
I
desires.
told you
I'm
guys.
fucking after I'm drunk, I just have to do it. So it puts me back in, kind of falling out.
Today was amazing. This is the best day of the summer.
It'll sober me up just enough.
Probably a little over $1,000. I made it
I
not
used to do that
sold
to
as
my
much
dad.
today as I usually would
Every
sell.
time my dad was
But
too drunk,
something
I'd
more
feed
came
him
out of it.
immediately.
I didn't know he was going to call Jaeger and say, hey, you need to figure out how to make Jaegermeister Oye's.
Yeah,
Even if they
that's all.
don't invest in me, at least they know.
Vitamin
Vitamin
B.
B.
They say
Vitamin B.
They say it's
I've
because
seen success in me now,
your breathing
but
is
I don't
so
see the
slow
success
that.
that I
But
want.
maybe it's because
It's not- I'm not at
if
the
you
goal
still have the alcohol still in your system and
Oh,
have
fuck, I know.
But I am
But you've been drunk enough to where you've almost died,
2020
right?
in
Yeah,
my
me
head
too.
was my last year
Me too.
selling
Like I
James
knew
Bond
I was dying.
It just happened to be
I
over.
fucking was dying of
Next
alcohol
year,
poisoning.
you'll be catching me in the stores. You'll be
Fuck,
catching me at the
man.
airports. You'll be catching me at the bar.
That- and you
Anywhere
really are
go,
dying.
You'll be catching the Oye vibe.
When I look back and think
I
about
just
it
gotta
now,
tell myself, what I'll do is I'll fucking mash and get something to drink. So I know I gotta keep it out. So you know, if I'm driving, I was as soon as I get my breath, I'll drink some water real quick, and it kicks it out, and then that helps a lot too.
I've been so drunk and thought I was gonna die puking that I knew I needed to tilt my fucking head to the side. I was just fucking annihilated, like ready to die, and I'm puking so bad that, and then I'm gonna pass out. I had to you always gotta make sure and tilt your head sideways because you'll drown in your own puke.
Yeah.
And I know I
There's been a
almost
lot of
have
people
before.
that have, yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta make sure I'm always freeze fucking down.
Alcohol's a motherfucker.
Thought we were crazy.
Yeah, my brother
We were
Ozzy
something
is
like-
really bad alcoholic too.
First time I sold coke, I was 14 years old, and then we took it to the next level where we stopped dealing on the corner. There was
Yeah,
nobody
which one? What is
doing it
this?
like I was doing it. We started handing out 10,000 business cards,
Cocaine?
like
Oh
wildfire.
no, you're selling
Just
cocaine
blew
like
up.
that?
We couldn't keep up with the demand. Like, yo, I need your help, and that's where I fucked up. I was being tapped by the feds, and I'm like, these motherfuckers, man.
Yeah, those motherfuckers, dude. I fucking can't stand drug laws. Drug laws are wrong. They are wrong entirely. See, if drugs were legal, cops wouldn't have a job, jailers wouldn't have jobs, clerks, judges, lawyers, okay? Right? They wouldn't have all that
My name
revenue.
is Cost Marte, aka
Okay,
Cost
they bring
the
it
Boss.
in so they can
I
do
grew up
it,
in the Lower
you
East
know?
Side of Manhattan. It was a very drug-infested
And not only
neighborhood
that,
back in the day.
addicts
It
wouldn't be
was
running their
a
lives the way that
place
they do.
where
They wouldn't
probably
have to
every
be
10
out at
steps
night if
I
it was
took
if they
as a
weren't
kid, I would
illegal.
see a heroin.
You know, out at night stealing,
not the
robbing. They'd be at
galleries
home
and
making their
pools
own
that you
fucking
see
dope,
today.
dude. Living
It
their
was
own fucking
like
life, minding their own
Iraq,
motherfucking
some
business.
shit,
You know.
a war zone. My mom came
Just
to
like
New York
I saw that
6
like
months
I've been there
pregnant with
before,
me.
like
Here, do you want me to go like
8
this?
months later,
You
I
had some
popped
deja
out.
vu.
You know, first
Look at him. Oh, he's a cute baby.
these motherfuckers, man.
I like the way he said that. These motherfuckers, man. What?
fucking next door Manhattan. I don't know why. Just like I'd been there before. It was fucking weird. Like the fucking trees part there.
My name is Cost Marte, aka Cost the Boss. I grew up in the Lower East Side of Manhattan.
Right there.
It was a very drug-infested neighborhood back in the day. It was
That
a
looks like
place
Spokane.
where probably every 10 steps I took as a kid, I would see a heroin needle. It's not the galleries and poodles that you see today. It was like Iraq or some shit, a war zone.
That chair
My
is
mom came
cool.
to
It's
New York
cool.
6 months
I love
pregnant
her.
with me. 3 months later, I popped out. First
He
American
was
boy citizen in my
cute.
family. So it was just my mom and I for a little while. My dad and my sisters came from the Dominican Republic when they got like their visas and stuff like that. My brother was born a few years later, but it was a struggle. I really understood poverty at a very early age. The fact that I was born poor, and I don't know, I felt the divide, even racially. Even like watching like the TV shows on TV is like, Step by Step and like Full House. White families have it good. They, living in white picket fences.
There's a lot of
and
white
they have a
TV.
big
I
house,
think about
and
that
I'm,
being a
like,
black person.
sleeping head to toe with all my siblings in one
weird to be a
full-size
black
mattress.
person,
Four of us in one bed.
Growing up, we were close knit, but we were always kind of doing our own things. But living in a 2-bedroom apartment with 6 people, you're pretty close knit, even if you don't want to.
And you feel like life is unfair as a very young person, and I wanted more. I wanted to be rich. So school was pretty easy for me growing up. I did pretty well. I remember in 3rd grade, like
Gosh,
the
boss.
teachers asked my mom to skip me a grade because I literally
I was the
had
youngest
nothing
in my
but
class.
hundreds. It
I
was
didn't
just
turn
too
the
easy
age
for
that
me.
everybody was
My mom
until
was
after
actually
school
a
was out
teacher
in
in
the
the
year.
Dominican Republic.
She was
When I was a
17?
kid, she taught me like
Yeah,
how to
everybody was always
multiply
older.
and all the math stuff that really helped me in the drug dealing world.
Yeah, I started when I was 6.
My dad had the
You what?
bodega
Started when I was 6.
downstairs
Did you?
from the building,
I started when I
and
was 5.
I remember waking up before
I was
school,
in school
opening
though
up the
when I was 4
bodega.
over here at Head
I
Start.
had to sweep, mop, wipe shit down, and then head to school, and then after school come back, work the counter, real child labor shit.
Real
First
child labor.
small crime I committed, I remember going to the Economy Candy store, and they had baseball cards. So I was like a big baseball
My
card
brother,
collector. And
every
I used to
single
steal-
year, my brother
steal
had
the
every
baseball
single
cards
baseball
there,
card.
and buy like a
Every
Mary
single year,
Jane
my grandpa got
candy,
him every single
pay
baseball
5
card.
cents and walk out with like $5-10
Crazy.
worth of baseball
My
cards.
brother
and try
had
to sell
so
at
many
school.
baseball cards, dude.
There is a better way to make money with Amazon
So my
than
grandpa didn't
selling
know we
physical
fucking
products.
Edie was our
Introducing
mom, and
the
she
Mickelson
fucking
twins.
dude. You have no idea, man. Her fucking mom. There's so much I don't say. and
One of
I
my
never have.
cousins, who was like my
Probably
best
never
friend
will.
growing up, he was a
About
bad
so
motherfucker.
much.
He's locked up right now. But he was a bad influence on me too. Was the one that
Nobody's
smoked weed
business.
with
They used
me
to
for
make
the
me
first
like
time.
in rehab. They'd be like, "You have to tell your
4-3,
story all the time." They make me tell my
7-0,
story all the time. I'd be
do
like,
like smaller.
I'm tired of
like
telling
that.
my
I'm
story
with
all
my
the
little
time. Fucking
brother,
like reliving it,
and
you know.
We're
I mean,
walking.
it's good
I
that it
got
helps
a
people,
beat
but I can only
from my
do so
boy
much
who
of that.
lived in the building next door. We met up in the park. He bought a couple nickel bags off of me, and he's like, "Yo, do you want to smoke?" So I sat down, rolled up a blunt. At that time, I used to roll up fucking football blunts, and I really didn't know how to roll. I was like, "Yo, I'm the best fucking blunt roller." I smoked a little bit, passed it back. He passed it back to me. Next thing I know, I feel like this grown ass man just like grabs my arm.
9 undercover cops just come after my brother.
I dropped down to my knee, and he was like, "This is detective, blah blah blah," and he cuffed me right away.
I just started shouting, crying. I was wearing my Dare shirt.
And he's like, "Oh," and so he was like, "Don't take my brother," and like ripped his jacket off and was like, "I'm part of the DARE program."
And so I was just telling the police officer, I'm part of the DARE program, part of the DARE program.
That is so fucking
I
funny.
think the cops kind of like almost took a step back and really kind of let costs go with a warning, called our parents. It was the first time where it hit me hard that my brother was up to something. People that I knew in the community were up to something that wasn't probably good.
My mom was mad. My mom was like strictly like she thought marijuana was like the devil.
My brother definitely got the talk. And I think my parents, my parents weren't ignorant.
My dad was more practical and was like just, basically told me like be smart about it. Don't do it outside where you're gonna get seen by other people and get caught. Do it inside.
That's when I kind of stopped hanging out with my brother, just because of the reaction my parents had.
But obviously, as a kid, I'm not gonna listen. I feel like all adolescents be some sort of rebellion. From nickel bags, it turned into dime bags of coke. The first time I sold coke I was 14 years old.
This place right
I'm
here is
standing on
so
the corner
fucking like right in the
cokehead
middle of
came up.
anything.
He's like, yo,
It's
I
like
need
in
two bags
the
of
way you
coke.
go from right
I
here.
was like, all right, so I
You
went down
have to
to
go
Stanton Street.
What? Everybody's what?
You get any dumpsters?
And I bought 2 bags of
Oh,
coke
there's
from
no
him
dumpsters
for
around.
15 bucks
There's
a
the
pop.
ones that are here.
And then came back and sold it.
Yeah.
And made $10.
Yeah,
That was the
you
first
You
time
drive
I
a
was
car
like,
if you
yo, I
want.
can make way more money than selling nickel bags of weed.
But we need. I have these push lights. I gotta find them. Fuck, everything's
I
dirty.
got one of those lights. The other one, something that's
coke,
somewhere in there.
20s of coke, and just being out there for like a year and a half, 2 years, just in and out, hustling. There was nobody that was doing it like I was doing it. I was just
I got clean laundry.
and that's how it progressed. And after a while, I basically inherited a lot.
Wash them.
I'll be sitting on the stoop. People will pass me the money. I'll have like the Nextel walkie-talkies. I'll be like, yo, hit them with this amount. And so my boy will be on a roof or through one of the building apartments and just throw it on the other side of the building. And I'll tell people like, go around the corner, catch the shit coming off the roof, and then just keep it moving. So
I
it was
breastfed my
not
baby for a
like
year
a
and a
hand-to-hand,
half. Ow. Every time she wanted to eat,
transaction. I mean,
fuck, I gotta breastfeed the baby every time she wants to eat. I have to give her my boob,
for us,
Like,
our
it's so much
mindset
fucking
was
work.
like technicalities are that I'm not
It's a lot
handing
of
any
work,
drugs
but it's really
directly
healthy
to
for
them.
them.
It's
You know
coming
what I
off
mean?
the sky.
It makes them
like, God
smarter
sent it to
and
you.
everything. I think my daughter was smarter because of it. She was always in advanced
And
placement
you have no
classes and
proof.
stuff.
You're just handing me money. So
Honor
that was
society
my
and shit.
mentality behind that operation. I don't even remember the first time I met Joey, but I knew of Joey and like seen him on the block, seen him in the hood.
No, he's in
My name is
prison.
Jose La Jave, and in Spanish it means the key. People call me the key. I first met Kos probably in the early 2000s.
When I really started messing with him, I was like 16. Joey was always doing all types of other hustles, like setting up shop right on the corner. And like, I'm hustling, and I'm like, yo, what the fuck is he doing? And he's like, open up the box and just selling like white teas for $1 to like Chinese people, and just like coming up with $1,000 off like selling shit like that.
He had his own way of doing things. I had my own way. And he was just the perfect 1-2 punch for me. We were ambitious and determined. We didn't realize it at the time, but we had certain entrepreneurial skills.
And so one day he comes up to me, he's like, yeah, I need this amount of work. I think he bought like maybe like $500 worth of coke. And I gave him like a discount so he could make money off of it. And then he came back. He was like, yo, I need more. And then he went over there, sold whatever he needed to sell to whoever he needed to sell, and then came back and bought more. And I'm like, yo, I'm out. And he was like, yo, I need more. Now. Like, just like very demanding and aggressive.
Really
I
hellfire
saw
fucking shit.
that similarity of
Fucking
like
hellfire.
having that hunger, having that
Here you go,
desire
doing
to
cigarette.
be rich. It's like, yo, I need help. Run the block. And right there and then, we just made the decision. We put our money together. I think we just bought like 2 ounces of coke or something like that. And, we just started operating together.
We formed a union that night, and that's how it all started.
The energy that we just bounced off each other, like I've never seen a hustler like him, and he's never seen a hustler like me. We both had that hunger where we like, any way, means necessary, we're gonna get this motherfucking money. It was this rookie cop. He was like, I'm gonna search him again, and I'm like, fuck.
Broccoli.
We got 2 black women on television who got a show. Name me another one.
When the biggest names in sports.
Every day you're going to hear from a player. Every game there will be ads about social injustice.
Want to talk about anything but sports?
Sure. We need change. It's all about leadership, and leadership starts at the top.
They come to stick to sports. Wednesdays at 10 on Vice.
You ever wondered what actors and actresses do when they have to get in shape really fast for a movie? Because I can promise you, it's not the same diet that you're following and the same training plan that you try. The truth is that Hollywood's elite actors can get ripped while adding 12, 15, even 20 pounds of muscle in just a few weeks because they follow a long forgotten and suppressed by the fitness industry secret that was used for generations of bodybuilders and athletes before steroids were even invented. I don't even weigh 210 pounds. You've lost me. That's insane. So you lost
53 pounds in 90 days. I went from 189 pounds to 136 pounds.
Holy cow.
I get further and further in. By the time I hit the 90 days, I had lost right at 30 pounds, and my jeans were falling off of me.
I lost 53 pounds. I would say that it far exceeded my expectations.
You want to know why running on the treadmill 7 days a week doesn't work for you when you're trying to lose weight? Because it never has. And I know that's hard to believe, but it's true. Cardio actually burns calories, usually in the form of carbs in the bloodstream that are then replaced with the very next meal that you eat and stored as more fat. This is why when you even eat low-calorie foods or run for an hour a day, it seems like you get softer, but you don't actually lose any weight. And this is one of the biggest reasons why most weight loss attempts fail within the first 3 weeks. I don't do an hour of cardio. I have never done an hour of cardio in the past 5-10 years, and I stay sub 10% body fat.
I should do the same workout all the time.
Well, you could say,
I gotta
well, I
switch
have
it up a little
injuries
bit,
and I can't lift heavy. You don't have to lift heavy to get
It's
in
really
shape.
pointless.
You can say, well, I can't stick to a diet because I'm always hungry all the time. You can
When you
follow
do the same
diets
thing all
where
the
you're
time,
not
it
hungry and you're
fucking
eating your
doesn't
fit.
work the same. But I would do like 35 minutes of cardio, and then I do like
together. For us,
3
it was like
miles,
business
and then
never
I
ended.
get back and do
Dealing with
like
coke,
30 more minutes of
started
cardio.
crack as a
And I go
teenager.
tan.
I was just hungry. We worked our ass off.
Every day, 365 days in a year.
And I
We
went to
never
the
had
gym
no time to hang
several
out
days a
or
week
be with our
for
families. I don't even know
fucking
what holidays
almost
are. I
20
don't
years.
give a shit about none of that.
This is embarrassing, but I remember him, going in between cars and taking a shit.
That's why I'm so buff,
Because
dog.
we didn't want to get off the block. Like, he was like, yo, I can't go upstairs. We're going to miss the sale. And, like, he's like, yo, but I got to use the bathroom. And he, like, went between cars. Like, yo, this motherfucker serious? He's like, yo, cuz, get me toilet paper. And I'm, like, getting toilet paper, like, throwing it at him as a football. And, like, it was a fucking movie. Like, even brushing our teeth, we were, like, buy the quart of water, buy a new toothbrush, buy a toothpaste. We actually took, like, no-dose pills, like, caffeine pills to, like, keep us up.
What are you doing, Beanster? What's the
at
matter,
4 or 5
baby
in the
guy?
morning,
What's the matter with? But
like
what
this
about
extra
Bean? But what
weight
about Bean? What's the
or
matter, Bean?
people showing up to the corner. There was like
Here,
no other
you
corner
want to
that
see
was
that
like
there or something? There you go.
operating as like
I'm trying to be
24 hours a
selfish with
day.
that or whatever.
I remember I went home
What are
after
these
like
things?
3 days. I was like up in the streets,
I
tired,
fucking
like
crack pipe
hustling
for like
all day, all night, and I was
retarded.
staying up days at a time. But I remember having like 5,000 bags of crack, $50,000 worth on the street, and I just finished like getting it from my Connect, and I get to my mom's crib. I was living on Broome and Eldred at the time, but I went over there because I picked up the crack from my Connect in the first floor of my mom's building, and I like just started watching TV there, just chilling. And I had like
Now
a
you
big
fucking
hoodie, and I
whore.
got like a big ass plastic
Oh,
fucking
bitch.
Ziploc bag of just a whole bunch of crack, and I fell asleep there. My dad woke me up, and there was crack everywhere in my mom's apartment. Like literally, it was like from the bathroom, kitchen to the living room, and it was just like a whole bunch of crack everywhere. I felt so embarrassed. I was like, "Oh shit! How the fuck all this shit got around? I don't know how the hell it got all over the apartment. I must have been sleepwalking because I was like dead." And I woke up in the couch, pretty much in like the same position, like it was raining crack, Hallelujah. Yeah.
Yeah, my brother used to sleepwalk all the time. You know, he would just get up, sometimes just go to the couch, turn on the TV, and just sit there. He was asleep. And my brother's a hard sleeper, so like, he's knocked out, he's sleepwalking, you can't wake him up.
My dad passed me a fucking broom and a dustpan, and we just started sweeping up everything and putting it in the Ziploc. I was just really surprised that he helped me pick it up. I guess he understood that, you know, he couldn't throw it away. I would have probably had some repercussion on the street. He's like, get that shit out of the crib. It's like, whatever, you know, like, yeah, not a lot of people know about that. There was this crackhead named Chula. Chula was like next level fucking gangster. Like, I seen her like bring a knife to a gunfight, literally. So I get a call from her. She's like, yo, come to building A. It was like 3 blocks. Go upstairs to the crack house. I got like 50 bags of crack on me. And I knock on the door, opened up. I go in there, make the sale. Next thing I know, that like the fucking cops, they bring that like that big black fucking shit that they knocked down the doorway. So like bang the door, and the other crackheads was just like fucking scared, and I was scared. And Chula was by the door, and she like fucking stood by the door and was like put her whole body into it. I had like 7 bags of weed on me. So I took the 7 bags of weed and I just threw it behind the stove. And then eventually they just ran the door. About like 10 cops, detectives come in. They start searching the whole apartment. They find the weed. One of the crackheads snitched on me and say like, that was his weed. I thought it was one of those situations where I'm like, yo, I'm only going in for weed. I'm good, you know, blah, blah, blah. I get out to the hallway. I'm in cuffs. And there was this rookie cop. He was like, I'm going to search him again. And I'm like, fuck. I remember I had a Rockaware jacket. It was like one of those flight jackets. And the seams, in the seam of it, I had a little hole just slit right there. And I had a whole bunch of bags of crack throughout the whole seam of the jacket. And so he opens up, like, you know, spreads my legs. I'm still in cuffs. And, like, he was very aggressive where, like, he banged my head against the wall. And he searched me. And then he felt like a little slit and just put his finger in there. And that was it. You know, he saw 1 bag of crack and he saw 2, 3. They just kept coming out like, shit, this is going to be a serious situation. He was like, what the fuck? So then he took like a switchblade knife and ripped my whole fucking jacket off me with the cuffs on me. And that was it. That was my first felony.
Your body's only healthy when your hormones are balanced. That's why so many guys suffer from low T. Unbalanced hormones can really impact your life, from low libido, chronic fatigue, poor sleep, hair loss, increased body fat, muscle loss, and even depression. 10 years ago, I was suffering from all of these issues myself, and that's when I found out that I had a brain tumor actually blocking my T production. Doctors were prescribing every synthetic solution in the book, but I learned that micronutrients are a key foundational element to rebalancing hormones. When you're deficient in any vitamins, minerals, or amino acids, it throws hormones out of whack quickly. And that's exactly why I developed.
This guy talks about his poop all the time.
I had to be sent to Rikers Island.
It was a shock, but it was a shock because I didn't want to tell anyone about it, especially once I got into middle school and high school. Slowly, he almost became invisible.
It's not a pretty place. I remember like laying on my bed and there was just like thousands of mice just crawling all over the floor. It's like a horror movie.
Are you serious?
I remember actually the second day I was there, somebody got stabbed on my bed with a broomstick.
Damn.
My brother had an Uber-style delivery service before there was like Uber Eats, before there was Seamless, there was Coffee Joey.
How are you guys different from the more traditional militia groups?
We won't compromise. I'm gonna keep trying to fight the elite people to rank
When I was in California, I got trapped in LA one time when I was 24 with nothing but clothes on my back.
Well, leaders have failed us.
There are still out in the street.
Yeah,
The decisions that we make in this election impact us for an entire generation.
How's it
Vice
Woodland
News
Hills?
tonight, Monday to Thursday
I'm
at
like,
11.
okay,
on
so my
Vice.
ex is a bazillionaire, right?
This guy like dropped on
fucking
my bed.
bazillions.
Then I'm like, yo, get the fuck
Hundreds
off
of
my
millions of
bed.
dollars.
The riot team came. We call them the
He
Turtles.
drive all the
but
way
they
to
come
California. He
with,
hasn't
like,
seen his mom in 20
they,
years.
They look like Ninja
He
Turtle
bought her a
outfit,
car and everything
suits.
because
The
he didn't have a lot
turtles
of
come
money.
in,
And stuff,
and
but
you need to embrace
I
the
haven't seen her in
impact.
20
They
years.
come in
She
with
just happened to be
batons.
away
They
on
just start
Thanksgiving
hitting
vacation.
people as soon as they come in
We
the
go
door.
to his house.
Banging
And
anybody
his
in the
room
way.
is still
So
the
you just
same as
gotta
it
hit the
was
ground.
20 years ago or
So they
whatever.
bang up a couple
He goes
people. They take
upstairs.
people to the box.
So we went and bought this turkey I'm cooking, you know.
Dorm is
He
just
fucking,
like
and he'd say, we're quitting smoke crack,
split
total
back all over the
abstinence.
place, you know.
I'm like, whenever he
And
says,
I get
and
back
so
to
I'm
my
like,
bed
okay,
and
you
my
know, like,
sheets were
fuck.
like just covered.
And like he
blood.
comes down, I'm like, what's taking him so
And I
long up there?
remember,
And
like,
so I went to go
the
upstairs.
officer's like, yo,
He
it's
comes down with this
night,
fucking box of
lights
crack
out,
paraphernalia,
everybody
dude,
go to
and
bed.
he's
I'm
just
like, yo, I'm
tired
not
and
going to
shit.
fucking
And I
bed.
was
You got
like,
fucking blood on
oh
my
my
fucking
god, you
sheets right here.
motherfucker, dude,
I
because he
flipped
wouldn't
the
let me
mattress
get
around.
high.
There was blood on the other side of the
He was
fucking
high.
plastic mattress.
He
But
fell
at least I
asleep
got a
anyways. I
clean
called the
sheet.
taxi and I go,
I went to bed.
I took her last day $100 because the IRS was after him because he hadn't done his
So at
taxes. He owed
17,
him
I
like
got
80
probation.
grand. But
I
anyway,
felt like I was not
we
going
owned
to
it. We
sell
owed every crack
drugs
dealer in
anymore.
Canada.
I was going to turn a new
He
leaf
was
and
all
like
fixed.
do the right
But
thing.
anyway.
So I
So he goes,
graduated from high
fucking.
school. I got accepted to UAlbany.
I called
That
a
was
taxi
like
and I
one of
said,
the first people in my family
take
to
me
go
to
to
crack,
college.
right?
I brought
He's
some
just like,
weed with
okay.
me. I was just going to smoke it for myself.
He's like, okay.
And my
And he took me
roommate
to crack.
was like, where? What you
He
got?
goes,
So
we
like,
have to
I
go
showed
down
up,
this
he's
one
like,
street
oh,
with
and he
Scary,
bought like
and then there's
$100
weed.
worth right away.
There's nothing there. We have to go
I
down
had
and
no
even more Scary
intention
Street.
of
I'm like,
selling
I don't care. I
drugs
don't care.
up
Just
here.
take me.
It
And
was
so we went
just
down there, and then these dudes, I was
supply
like,
and
stop,
demand,
stop, stop,
you
you know,
know.
go back in the back alley. And these guys
Next
were like
thing,
trying to make me suck
I
their dick
was
and shit. And
bringing
I'm like, I got $800,
bringing
motherfucker. Just give me
ounces
my
of
fucking
coke
dope, right?
up to
And they go
Albany.
like this. Where the
So
fuck are you from? They said.
branding was
And I
like
go
this, like
Spokane. They're like, oh,
plastic Ziploc.
like Spokane was like hardcore or
After a
something.
month and a half in
And I was
college,
like,
threw a
so I'm
crazy
like,
party.
yeah.
We got like 200-300
And I
girls.
went home.
The cops raided
But
us.
he-
Foam knocked the
Oh
door
no, that's
down.
what happened.
Came dogs.
He got
The
arrested.
whole
Oh
canine
god, he
unit.
got arrested
They
that night.
found
That's why I got stranded.
Superman Ziploc bags.
Oh,
They
and I
gave
got
an
stranded
ultimatum. They
because he got
said,
arrested. And then I'm in his mom's
leave
house.
this
His mom
school
doesn't even know
or
we're
I can get
there,
arrested.
and he's in jail.
So I got
And
like
I'm in his
banned
mom's house.
from college.
I'm like, oh
I don't
no,
know
I'm
why
not
that
fucking
was
doing
not
this.
way
So the person that saved me
I go
was
back
the
to
Mexican
Manhattan.
dude that I bought
I
coke
like
from the
went
night
back
before,
to the
actually.
streets and did it again.
Because he followed the taxi after I left.
It was
The
when,
taxi's
like,
like,
white
this
people
dude's
started
following
moving to
us.
the Lower East Side.
He wants to talk to you. So he gave me his phone number, and I was like, glad I got it. He took me to this clothing shelter in
Real
Hollywood.
estate started going
Had the
up. Rent
cutest
was
fucking clothes.
ridiculous.
And I was
That
like, I want to take
in
them all home
turn
with me.
brought in better clientele.
Because they were so cute.
Happy endings. It was a massage parlor back
So
in the
anyways,
day.
Jeff's mom got me a
and
motel,
then
and I took a
it
bus, and it took me
became
3 fucking
Happy
days on the
Endings
bus.
Bar
Oh my
Club.
god.
When Happy Endings opened
terrible.
up, there was like a set, just like hipsters coming down the block.
These bars and lounges in the community offered better prospects and was far more lucrative.
Joey and I literally would just go up to people and say, we have blow. People on the block thought we were crazy because we were selling to white people. Everybody thought a white person was a cop. We took that risk and we became that first group to hustle to, random people. And that's where a hustle changed.
I made a proposition to him, let's create a service. Everybody was still doing the street corner thing. I already knew that the service phone thing, nobody else was really delivering stuff. Nobody else was really trying to cater to the high-end clientele.
And from there, we took it to the next level where we stopped dealing on the corner. Joey and I went to Kinko's and we made 10,000 business cards.
Business cards.
And made it
That's
legit.
fucking crazy,
It was
dude.
all black, said Happy Endings, 3 phone numbers on it, and it said 24/7 on it. And that was it. We started handing out the cards like wildfire. We used to take huge risks. But you know what? The business cards affected the business and we took it to the next level. Basically, our target market changed when we branded ourselves episodes as happy endings. It was so many phone calls after that. It was like literally 3 phones that I had on that business card just blew up.
And my brother had an Uber style delivery service before there was like Uber Eats, right? Before they were seamless. there was Cost and Joey.
Then it got to the point where we had 5 calls like every other minute, and we just couldn't keep up with that pace. So we had to employ people that was from the block. They didn't have their license, so we started buying bikes. In the beginning, it was local, so we had to meet the demand there. And then it started expanding. People started calling out in Jersey. People started calling out in Long Island.
Everybody was hustling for us. Everybody that was our friends growing up became our employees. We started wearing suits because I caught that crack case, and then I was going back and forth to court. I spent like a year going back and forth to court. And every time I would go to court, I would wear like button up, tie, suit sometimes, and I was like selling drugs like on my way going to court, like coming out of court. That's how the business started, and just acting more professional. Dealing drugs on a corner, sitting on a milk crate was completely different from, wearing a business suit and going down to Wall Street and just fitting in. It took a turn, and it felt like we were incognito for a minute because like cops would stop us and let us go sometimes. We were wearing suits, like we had a legit job. Running late to work while we were going 100 miles per hour down Fifth Avenue.
And then the whole pitch line, hard, stapled with a bag of coke. Listen, we're punctual, proper attire, we go anywhere. We were one of the first people in that time frame to have a service.
Seeing kind of like the people that was coming up to him were much more professional, were much more white, much more educated. You could connect the pieces.
We changed our language. We changed the way we approach the individuals. I was not like, yo, what's good, blah, blah, blah. It was like actually speaking correct English, not ghetto language, making sure people understood us, and like proper handshakes, and like basically doing a startup where you're like being scrappy in every other way, and then turning corporate.
I think when Cost really hit that other level, I think he became more responsible in his lifestyle, but I think at that point he was so deep into the game, it didn't change his decision making overall. And that's when you realize that, it was something much greater than what we saw when he was 13 and 14 years old.
And that's when the business started like fucking booming. I see this white guy, he looks at me and I look at him and he's like, Cost Marte, and I'm like, the fuck? How the fuck you know my name? He's like, pulls out his badge.
City to city, coast to coast, Dark Master Sage Thomas races his cars.
We have thousands, so when you get, I want about $30,000. It's my job. I gotta put kids in college.
American classics, works of art built for speed.
Don't master good. I want to take him down.
We running at high risk speed, so anything can happen.
Donkmaster. New episode Wednesday at 10:30 on Vice.
The calls were getting so insane that we were like literally picking up 2 phones at a time. Like we couldn't keep up with the demand. It became a real operation after a while where we had multiple dispatchers. It was like 12-hour shifts, and then just a whole bunch of drivers.
It picked up so fast. The first few days, it was like $700 to $1,100. And then towards the summertime and out of nowhere, everything was just consistently averaging over $3,000 a day. The goal was if we made $3,000 a day for 365 days in a year, that's $1,095,000.
And then we had like stash houses in the Bronx and in Washington Heights. It was like business 101, where we were like, all right, this is the game plan and this is how it needs to be structured.
Cost wasn't the dealer anymore. Joey wasn't the dealer anymore. They had multiple levels within the organization structure, and they managed it almost as a CEO. You could say Cost was like the CEO and Joey was more CEO.
With the service,
Oh my God.
those were your clients, and you could gauge a quota off of that. Thursdays I make
Hell,
this.
oh my god, this
Fridays
thing's
I
like
make
on
this.
fire, dude.
Like if it's fashion week, that's going.
Oh my god,
right
it's
on
fucking
through.
totally on fire.
That's
What the
like one of
fuck,
the
dude?
biggest weeks.
Can you unplug it for me, please, hon? No, you're gonna electrocute yourself. Watch out, that cord, that cord.
Holidays, like for
That cord is
Thanksgiving,
like
it slows
fucking
down
melted,
because
hon.
people fly to go see family members. They clean up. There's not that much action going on in the city. But as soon as that weekend
Get that
Sunday
thing away
passes,
from
they're
me
right
and
back at it,
everything.
calling 1,000 miles per hour.
Cash was everywhere, stacked with rubber bands, like 20 grand
Okay,
worth
what
of
was I
this
doing?
height.
Okay, we have our light.
Stashing it in closets, shoe boxes.
So there goes that
Just
sheet.
stashed like $30,000 per
There
like
goes that
Jordan shoe
particular
box.
sheet.
I probably was pocketing like
That
close
was
to $3 million a year.
no,
I was only like 21, and we was just buying dumb shit, stupid
Well, at
mink
least there'll be
coats and
like a cover
chains
for part of the
and
bag. That's
watches
what we're
and shoes, and we'd go like to Louis Vuitton store on Fifth Avenue and just like come out with like a small little shopping bag, but we'll be spending like 10 grand.
You know, Coogee clothing. He had the new Timbs, and then having 2 cell phones. And I saw the symbolic wealth that he carried, and also just the respect. Right, people in the neighborhood started talking that my brother was the guy they wanted to be because he had everything.
Joy and I wearing business suits, eating fancy dinners. I always get like a bottle of Grey Goose and Peter Luger's and all this shit.
Every day was like a party. We just did whatever we wanted. We didn't have no sense of responsibility.
So I ended up getting my girlfriend pregnant, and I wasn't ready for that. It put a lot of pressure on me to make more money. And I'm like juggling, like running the business and then like trying to take care of her. And I started just eating everything she ate. We was just overindulging, living, splurging. Whatever I wanted, I got. We went to make a delivery in like right by Central Park, and I think it was like August, so it was like not cold outside, but we were wearing like fucking mink or some type of fur, stupid shit. And I remember Joey had like the matching fucking hat, like the mink hat with the fucking mink jacket. I don't know who said it first, but it was like, yo, let's take a horse and carriage. And we were like, yo, how much is it for the day? We want to go to the Lower East Side to our block. We'll give you $500. And it was like, like the ticket's going to be like $1,000. It was like, fuck it, we'll give you $5,000. And they were like, nope. And then this guy was like, all right, I'll do it. We were like literally stopping traffic. Those horse and carriages super slow, and so many cars like beeping, and we're like going down like Fifth Avenue. And people were just like buying drugs off of us on the horse and carriage.
And somebody had said, listen, I'm on 39th and 7th. I said, oh shit, I'm a block away. He said, what car are you in? I said, I'm not in a car. Believe it or not, I'm in a horse and carriage. He's like, oh, you guys are fucking crazy.
We like stopped in like McDonald's with the horse and carriage, brought it to the block. We had all the little kids like feed it like apples and carrots. I don't know how like we got away with shit like that, but we got away with it. At the height of everything, Joey got locked up. Joey was doing like a year. And so now I'm like running everything on my own. There was this one guy, he was our dispatcher. He started stealing shit. Behind my back, he started a new phone and made new business cards. And he was like making these sales and stealing our customers and directing them to a new phone. And then this guy named Dominic, one of my first customers who bought a lot of cocaine from the beginning. Dominic had my personal number. So he calls me. He's like, yo, this guy gave me some different shit. He actually gave me a new business card. Do you have a new number? And I was like, what? What the fuck is the number? So I got that number. I called it. The dispatcher picks up. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck is he doing? And I got all the phones that he had in his possessions. I switched those numbers and I took that number that he started, not knowing that that phone that he started was being tapped by the feds. And that's where I fucked up. What I did, I was in the stash house in the Bronx. I'm doing all the dispatching now. I didn't trust anybody anymore. And I was sending people to the different locations. I'm sending these guys. They tell me, copy. I'm heading over there. Then the phones were being shut down.
We're sorry. The number you have is not in service at this time, and there is no new number.
And so I'm like, yo, what the fuck is going on? So I'm like calling other drivers. I'm like, yo, I need your help. I need your help. And people were like, not available. And then I had no drivers. And I'm like, fuck it. I'm going to make this delivery myself. And so I leave the stash house. And as I walk out of the stash house, I see this white guy. He looks at me and I look at him. And he's like, Cost Marte. And I'm like, what the fuck? How the fuck you know my name? He's like, pulls out his badge. This is Drug Enforcement Agent, Detective Joseph King. And he says, your whole operation is over. I like opened it up. I stick my fingers in there. And there was like 10 tabs of acid. My mind was like, fuck it. You know, what more do I have to lose? Let me just get high.
Charles Barkley. We got 2 black women on television who got a show. Name me another one.
When the biggest names in sports.
Every day you're going to hear from a player. Every game there will be ads about social injustice.
Want to talk about anything but sports?
Change. It's all about leadership. And leadership starts at the top.
They come to stick to sports. Wednesdays at 10 on Vice.
On my way down to the precinct, they stick me into this like minivan, and then they take my BMW and they drive it next to me, just laughing.
You be fucking higher than hell. I'm not liking it.
These motherfuckers.
You be fucking punk. Oh yeah, walls will be melting.
As soon as I walk in the precinct, people are clapping, like whooping and hollering, and saying like, "You're done. You're done." And they take me to this corridor where they have like 10 cells. And as I walk down, I just see like all my drivers in those cells. They take my wallet. They take me to the bathroom. They like strip search me. I had like, I don't know, like 100 bags of Coke in my underwear. And they were like, what the fuck? You have like Coke you have more? They give me back my wallet. This wallet, I had a little zipper type of stuff inside. I like opened it up. I stick my fingers in there, and it was like 10 tabs of acid. My mind was like, fuck it. You know, what more do I have to lose? Let me just get high. Took the 10 tabs of acid. The bars were like waving me. I felt like I could just like open up the bars and like escape. And then they take me to the interrogation room, and that's when it really started hitting me. And I was fucking tripping like crazy. They told the judge that I was high on acid. Judge was like, "You're on acid right now." I'm like, it's like, get him out of the courtroom. We're gonna hit him with the kingpin charges. Ended up in Rikers Island, going back and forth to court.
Me and my dad went to the courtroom where we heard the conviction, and just staring at my brother, I felt like there wasn't a human there anymore. I felt like that wasn't the person I knew. It was kind of like a moment where I felt like he was lost.
Course got locked up. I came out. I was motivated to get in right back into it, and I went and I turned the phones back on. Sure enough, they started their investigation all over, and it was the same officers that arrested him. That's how I ended up catching this case, 9 flat.
I got 7 years. I was sent upstate. My son was 18 months old when I got locked up, and it really, really killed me to be away from him. You know, I wanted to come home to my family.
I stepped up, started taking him to baseball games, hanging out with him, kind of giving him a father figure to look up to.
Chris had my back. You know, we got really tight, and I owe him a lot for that. I was in Green Correctional Facility. I see Glenn. And I'm like, yo, Glenn, what's good? And he's like, yo, what up, yo, blah, blah, blah. I met Glenn, I think, when he was in elementary school. I remember him being bad. He was like a really bad kid.
Well, it's crazy because I used to see Coles every day on the block, and then I get locked up. Next thing you know, I see Coles popped up and green. I'm like, holy cow. He's heavy set, the biggest I've seen him his whole life. He had like some B cups, C cups. He had the belly. He had like 5 pounds on his face. I'm like, yo, what the hell happened to you?
I didn't think I was like fat, or I didn't feel like I was gonna die tomorrow. But when I went upstate, the first thing they do is like take blood work, and then they send you back to the cell unit. Maybe like 2 or 3 days later, they sat me down and they said, you know, your cholesterol levels are really high. It was like, you know, if you continue like living that lifestyle, you could probably die of a heart attack within 5 years. And I was like, what?
He was probably on the verge of probably 300 pounds.
And what they recommended was to like eat correctly and to work out. I like stopped drinking like the prison Kool-Aid, eliminating carbs, eliminating like the processed sugar. Literally maybe 150, 200 calories on my plate. I just started doing dips off the side of my bed, push-ups. In like 5 minutes, I was like, this shit is too fucking hard. I went to my bed and I like lay there. My son was in my head all the time. I started thinking like, yo, I need to get back into shape. That's when I hit the yard. At first, I felt embarrassed. When I get up to the pull-up bar, I'm like, and like struggling, and people are like, yo, get this fucking honey bun out of here, man. I just started doing laps. While I was running the yard, people were like calling me Fat Forrest Gump. They were like screaming, yo, he's back, that honey bun motherfucker. And I'm like, fuck you. And I just kept running and running.
And every morning I would come out, I would see Coles jogging in the yard, by himself.
Then eventually I started building myself up where I was like running 2 hours at a time. I noticed that I was like losing crazy weight. They give you the state issue clothes. And so my hands were like falling off me. And I lost 70 pounds in 6 months.
You could see the definition of his cheekbone. We thought he wasn't eating, and we were worried about him.
I felt like freedom in a sense because I just kept running and focused, and it was like a time for me to meditate.
I had the freedom to take the time off and actually go and visit him. And I thought it was important to have his son, you know, see his dad once in a while.
I think Coles was just trying to like reinvent himself.
Glenn worked out with me. Other guys started running with me, and we just started doing our own routine.
Working out with Coles was intense. He was really militant. He was focused. He was strong-willed. And the workout will actually, you know, help us, you know, get some sleep because it's hard when you're all alone in your cell and you're thinking about what the world is doing.
I had 2 months left towards my incarceration, and this officer says this is a drug test. He was like, don't fuck with me, today's not my day. So they put you on a wall, and as soon as he gets like in between my nuts, like I move my body a little bit, and he punched me behind my head. I dropped down to the ground, pick up my glasses. The officer thought I was gonna attack him. So as soon as I turned around, he presses the button, and then they threw me in solitary.
I'm 19 years old. I'm about to be the biggest drug dealer that you can become.
I was considered one of the best counterfeiters in the world.
I smuggled a whole bunch of immigrants into this great country, and we most definitely made it great again.
I should have stayed my ass at home.
Oh my God, are they starting a war with me or what?
I Was a Teenage Felon. New series premieres Tuesday at 10 on Vice.
I did 30 days in solitary, and I was facing 3 more years. I started praying and asking God, how can I get back for all the wrongdoings that I've done? I felt regret that I hurt a lot of people, and I wanted to get back. What came to my mind was fitness. I wanted to start a fitness company. So I started writing, and I made it like a 90-day routine. I pictured myself doing a boot camp. Sounds crazy. Might be a little schizophrenic or whatever you want to call it, but it felt like I was training people and I was like acting You know, it's like closed doors. You got nothing to do. I'm training and imagining that there's people right in front of me, and I'm like working out with them. So I came home, I'm 160 pounds, like super skinny, pretty much lost everything, all my money, you know, going from job to job to job and nobody wanting to open up that door. So I went back to my mom's. I live on my mom's couch. I think my relationship with my family was not easy. They didn't believe when I was inside and told them like, yo, I'm coming home, I'm gonna do the right thing.
I think he realized that the time that he lost, and he was just trying to make that up.
My favorite memory of him, man, seeing him home, man. Transformed and all that. I was happy to see him. That was my favorite memory of him.
I went to the park and started doing the workouts there. And I like took a broken piece of pipe, stuck it between fences, and like just started doing pull-up bar training, like seeing like some of the guys that I used to hang out with back in the day just sit on the bench just looking at me like I was nuts.
He had a goal. He already said it. He already know what he had to do. He just had to go about doing it.
I came out with the idea like, yo, I'm going to do a prison-style boot camp. I'm going to get people out here and work out and all this stuff. And, yo, this is going to pop off. I know it's going to pop off. I just did it. One of the biggest like fitness health blogs, you know, in the country. They reach out and this lady comes and she's like, so, you know, what's your plan for the future? I want to build a prison. And that just came out of my mouth. I was like, I want to build a place where, you know, people going through a prison gate, maybe wear a jumpsuit to come work out with me, take a mugshot, you know, 5-minute showers, all this crazy stuff. And then I did it, and it came into fruition. I raised money, and then I started looking for like prison gates. Found out that eBay sells like a lot of prison gates. So ConBody is a prison-style boot camp where we hire formerly incarcerated individuals to teach fitness classes. And today, it's become a fitness lifestyle media brand. I hire people coming out of this system because I felt the pain when I came home. We have a 0 recidivism rate. Nobody has gone back. Anybody that's worked for us has not gone back to the system.
I think one of the most important thing that we all learned is that you can change. There was a moment where I thought my brother was lost. My brother was invisible to me. I barely spoke about him. You know, he was on the verge of death. He was on the verge of his son not having a father. You know, he was on the verge of not being known for anything in his life. And I think that's what changed him. And it's something that all of us are proud of. So I opened up ConBody in the exact same corner on El Jaboo when I first got arrested at with Chris. And then it went back to a full circle. And now I'm fitness there. You know, today we've trained over 20,000 people. You know, from idea that started in solitary, it became into a real thing, a reality. Should record the popo.
Where's my cigarettes at?
It's part of the brand.
Yeah, it's so hard to lose weight. Fuck, dude. When I was younger, I could just stop eating for a couple of days. And I'd be fine. I'm smoking this. Look. It's like climbing a mountain just to get to my bed. Okay, what was I doing? Kind of owie right there. I don't even know what it is. Something burning. I got burned.
This is what happens with success and fame. Come too early, too big, too fast, and you do too many drugs.
Wow, this is completely insane. You feel like you're with him, you know? You've gone through like similar shit.
Yes, it is a cautionary tale, but this film also offers hope and redemption.
It's more than music, it's a cause.
These boys and girls were talking about how this music saved their lives.
Vanliga, jag tyckte inte om den delen. Jag hatade den. Den var tråkig.
Directed by Henrik Berman, this is Young Lean in my head.
He was just 15, and he's sitting in his room creating like this whole new universe.
It's more than music, it's a cause.
There was something that was deep about it, but I couldn't explain what it was.
It all happened so fast.
You feel like you're with him, you know? You've gone through like similar shit.
Wow, this is completely insane. He just put it online and it was like a sensation.
It feels like everyone wants a piece of him.
Like last year, he worked with Frank Ocean, Travis Scott, and Gucci Mane.
Who is this young white dude from Sweden everybody's talking about?
Venerable hip-hop magazine XXL nominates him as Newcomer of the Year.
Why should people care about Young Lean? I'm the shit, bitch.
Fantasidrömmen, visionen blev till någon slags mörk verklighet. Det var som en helt annan person. Kände knappt igen honom.
After what happened in Miami, it changed everything.
I will give you the true story. I will give it all to you. Every night I cry because I made Lean happy, and it's the worst thing I've done in my life.
He's amazing, yeah. He triggers that
Lean is the
emotion
goat.
inside of us Americans that we can't get anywhere else.
Every time I hear Young Lean,
Yeah,
I
that's
just
the
wanna
emotion.
cry.
It's just
The
this like
emotion.
sad boys
It's-
vibe
it's-
that you
it's-
can't get
it's
anywhere
this
else.
emotion that I get, this feeling that I get. It's
like Playboy Cardi, Travis Scott. They don't trigger that kind of shit.
Like whole other world. Awesome. Like a rescue. I came all the way from Russia here, and then I waited for a year and a half for his concert, and I'm finally in New York. We're from Australia. I've just listened to him non-stop for the last 2 years.
When you depressed all time, you think about suicide or something, and it's his music helps to doesn't think about it.
I live in Siberia. I came from Novosibirsk, and I've been saving money for 1 year. Just came to this show. I love Young Lean. His music was saving my life.
he really connects with the fans. Like,
Oh, for sure.
At other shows, you know, you got the artists on stage, Young Lean in the crowd. But at a Young Lean show, I feel like it's all just one big group.
Yeah,
you know,
you guys are.
he feeds off our energy, we feed off his energy. You know,
It's one vibe.
yeah, absolutely.
So many lives that I've found. Lord heaven, I stick to the ground. So many times I realized what I seek for is right in front of my eyes. I'm alone and I'm looking around.
Titta i kameran, Jonathan. Titta i kameran.
Kom Jonathan.
Jag ska lägga kameran. Och nu börjar jag känna. Paka Dima, paka Viktor, säg det också.
Paka Dima, paka Viktor. Igår till jag
Säg en gång till, vad gör du? Ett hus?
Ja,
Vad ska det bli för hus?
det ska bli ett Peter Pan.
Peter Pan-hus. Här är Jonathans bord med alla hans uppfinningsgrejer som han har hållit på med här hela veckan. Oj. Tape. Happy New Year!
Yeah. Lights, sound, camera, action.
There are 30 grams from rehearsing serious house. Reaches to dance, baseball, bats, busting flies. Do it from behind. The devil is inside and I can see his face sometimes. When the sun shines, glitters in my enemy's face only comes up at night time. When there's no one left around. Find young lean doer under gonna make you single sound. Tired of being around, tired for the big round.
Så när jag träffade John första gången, då hade jag och Micke börjat hänga. Jag och Micke hade ju så här varit kompisar på typ Facebook. Det var väl typ inte så många som typ så här jag visste om, eller så här, han heller visste om, som gjorde musik. Vi var i parken och vi stod väl och liksom drack folle och typ lyssnade på någon låt, och så kom Jompe och så började vi snacka med honom och så sa han, men jag rappar typ, så bara okej, så nice typ, så vi gör beats, bara, ja men du gör något, okej.
Ja, fett rolig att hänga med bara, liksom. Och vi gillade samma saker, vi kunde prata väldigt ingående om allt som har med hiphop att göra, liksom. Alltså hiphop-nörderi generellt, liksom. Och från det till anti-C-mex och liksom shitlickers, alltså så här. Allt var intressant, liksom. Jag och Jonte bestämde oss för att köpa en mick. Jag hade fått lite cash så jag köpte en mick. Rensade ut hans rum i hans källare. Började bara leka runt liksom.
What's your name, boy?
början så var det lite så, fan det låter ju, jag vet inte hur det här låter. Men sen så liksom, så lyssnade man på det några gånger och så bara, men det är nice.
Rush Hour 3 on DVD, catch me ghostbusting, catch me in a hotel with your mother and her cousin. Bitch, I come through like never before. Fucking
2013 tror jag det var, så ganska tidigt så ploppade det upp videos på YouTube. En kille med bucket hat som stod och basically freestylade lite på över väldigt drömska beats. Jag hade inte hört någonting liknande från Sverige i alla fall. Men han kände ju till en del artister från USA. Men man märkte att det var någonting speciellt med den här grabben och estetiken också.
Up in the club and I see 5 elements. Bitch, I'm Bruce Willis, so you know I'm time traveling.
Så jag tror det började med att jag mejlade Yung Lean, Jonathan, och frågade om de ville spela. De hade ju aldrig spelat live tidigare.
Du bara nej där. Är du bra? Jag vet inte. Är du bra? Är du bra?
Sad boys.
Det var liksom, ja, det var ju slutsålt med 200-300 pass. Helt hysteriskt med tanke på att man hade släppt typ 3 låtar under den tiden.
Gud, jag har ingen aning om vad fan det här är, eller varför vi gör det här och varför de här människorna är här. De sjunger med, det är skitnice. Men fan, vad händer liksom?
I remember the first time I heard Lean, and it was probably one of his first videos. A friend of mine showed it to me, and she and I were just like, wow, this is completely insane. He goes Machiavelli.
But you know I stay, bitches come and go. But you know I stay, get my balls licked by a Zoe that Chanel, looking like a cocaine addict.
He was definitely like a weird curiosity for me, and I think for a lot of people when he first started.
I didn't know what to think. I didn't know whether like he was a parody rapper. I didn't know whether he was like anything serious.
He looked really young, and you know, who is this person from Sweden making a video that's like kind of exploring American hip-hop tropes?
Ginseng Strip, this is the type of video that he just put it online, and it was like a sensation.
Yeah, I think for me it was just like unexpected.
So you're the boy from Sweden that a lot of people are buzzing about. Do you want to talk about where you're from and what effect that has on your music?
I'm from Stockholm in Sweden, and I don't think it has any effect on my music at all.
No?
No, I don't think so. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Just I don't know, makes it more sad, I guess.
Yeah.
Sad country.
Do you want to talk about your clique, the Emotional Boys?
Yeah, Sad Boys. It's me, Young Good, and Young Sherman, and we're all from Sweden, ages 16 to 18.
The rapping was really, really simple, very monotone. Almost felt kind of empty. The whole song, really kind of depressing, or had this weird undercurrent of sadness to it. A lot of subjects of drug use and depression juxtaposed with this like talk about commercial objects.
Louis duffel bag filled with heroin. Louis goose who finna trip on LSD acid test. Let him in. Louis duffel bag filled with heroin. Louis goose who finna trip on LSD acid test. Let him in. I'ma make you hurt. I'ma make you hurt. I'ma make you hurt. I'ma make you hurt.
What was weird was they were taking the most generic aspects of American culture, like Gatorade and Arizona iced tea, and fixating on those things. So things that, for me, I can leave my apartment and go buy, and it's the most boring thing. I would never sing about it. I couldn't tell if it was like a commentary on society or something else. I don't know.
Jonathan har ju redan gjort åtminstone en eller två intervjuer med Vice eller Noisy. Många som hörde av sig med intervjuer. Vi kände att nästa steg skulle vara att steppa upp genom att spela in en välgjord musikvideo. Och det blev ju då Kyoto. Så fort den kom, då var det var ju då det verkligen exploderade. Drömmen var ju att turnera i USA och spela in mer musik bara. Nå dit hans texter drömde om liksom.
My mama told me, she said, son.
You may not know or recognize Machette outright, but you know of his work. Some of his legal and musical clients have included Ozzy Osbourne and Phil Collins.
My goal is to live and keep creating. My goal is to encourage people to create. You live in a world where they don't want you to create. They want to perpetuate what is. If you don't create, you're not alive. You're a zombie.
I do believe it's happening to me. Let me tell you.
The most interesting time I had here was when Ozzy Osbourne peed on the Alamo, which he did. He peed across the street from the Alamo. And I had to make sure he wasn't thrown out of the United States for being an absolute moron. It was the first time I ever pulled in political clout. My friend was Nancy Reagan when Ronald Reagan was president. And we got it done. I got into music because my dad was into it. So I was partners with my dad for a few years. And then he died, and he shouldn't have died. And then I started making movies in LA. I did a lot of music. I produced more music than anyone. I worked with Peter Gabriel. I worked with Genesis. I put out music I really liked.
Something that drew me to the Sad Boys and Young Lean was their affiliation with Baron Machette from Hippos and Tanks.
Welcome to Hippos and Tanks. This is Baron.
and we just got here, and
So I'm living in England, and my son's here in LA, and I'm in London. And I said, "What do you want to do?" So he says, "I want a record label." I go, "Okay, done. What do you want?" He says, "I want Hippos and Tanks to be the label." Done. I said, "And now what bands do you want?"
I think they moved it.
They were such a prestigious electronic label. They had all this experimental music. They were like avant-garde, like nerdy stuff basically.
Jonathan var ett jättestort fan av Hippos in Tanks och musiken som släpptes där framför allt.
It was kind of about embracing the commercial music marketplace, but with this very, very strange work that was almost performance art in some cases, like Dean Blunt and James Ferraro.
October 2013, Baron went to Sweden, Stockholm, with James Ferraro, who was doing a show.
Vi skulle dit för att kolla på se spelningen för alla var fans av James Ferraro.
And James Ferraro introduced Baron. He says, "Yeah, this band's bothering me." And they gave him the music. They gave him Kyoto.
Baron utstrålade någonting extra. Han var liksom, kom in direkt och tog över rummet liksom och väldigt energisk och motiverad och intresserad.
And so Baron met me in England later that month. He says, "I found something really cool." I said, "Baron, if you like him, sign him." So what happened was in the end of May, he gets a phone call. They want to sign with us, run by a little creep. I really dislike this guy, Emilio. And I'll get to why then. He's sneaky. But at that moment, he's calling me. So they said to me, they need to get into the United States because they have a show in New York on July 9th, I think it was, at the Webster Hall. I called up the Webster's Hall and they sold it out on that Wednesday show, and they gave him a second show. I'm like, hey, there's something going on here.
It was really remarkable to see how many people came to the show, and there was Arizona iced tea given out at the show. All the fans were excited, and then also a lot of media.
Right, yeah.
Baron came to the Fader office with the Sad Boys. Compared to how he was the other times I had met him, he seemed very debonair and was dressed all in white and had like a giant e-cigarette that he was smoking the entire time. And he seemed happy and calm. I felt like he had really found the artist he wanted to work with.
Oh, I didn't know he did.
He really was a huge part for making lean happen in America.
Bevisen på att det hade tagit fart var ju när de spelade in en feature med Travis Scott, inbjudan till att spela in med Frank Ocean i London. Man kunde ju helt klart känna att det var någonting som skulle bli superstort.
Where are we at right now? I have no fucking idea. We're supposed to go to San Francisco. Yo, what's up, bro?
thanks to everyone who hates me, only makes me fit my role. I got orange juice and doobies, I'll be touring droopy chef. Fire, vampire, diamonds, I got rubies. I got pills in my smoothie, says GE, just some movies. Move like that, hit the scene with my truies. Money in my bank account, you know I gotta spend it all. Take the light of night, if I die you'll never see me fall. Fuck the police, till the curtain falls. Oh no, basketball, new shoes, back calls. Mix it with some alcohol, Adderall, still I'm on the supposed to make it, so we chase it till we got them all. Made it, did it out of zero, flipped it, got it, made it hero. Fuck the game up in a hero, faster than you like De Niro. If you don't like me, get the fuck out my face. I'm riding in this stars, you get the fuck out my way. Sounds good. Fuck that heaven, smoking, I be smoking, sipping that loud.
Welcome to Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada.
Thank you, man.
And Jamo de Livra.
You're trying to sing happy birthday in Swedish.
As it's your
80th birthday.
happy birthday.
Vi borde spela in lite till.
Det är jätteperfekt. Ja.
Snackar du på och filmar lite? Någon måste stanna med blunken. Seriöst, alltså det här är takspacet i sjukvården. Seriöst, hålla ut det.
Crystal clear eyes, feeling like a snowman. Better than you, everybody seems so slow, man. The light makes me slow, man. I do this for my snowman. I don't wanna answer, I don't like to use my phone, man. Crystal clear eyes, I'm feeling like a snowman.
Ingen av grabbarna hade ju gjort det här tidigare, inte jag heller. Klart jag har varit ute och rest och liksom gjort klubbar utomlands och sådär, men inte i det anseendet. Det var ju så här, ganska snabbt så fick man ju sätta sig in i live-industrin. Folk som ville intervjua varje gång man kom till en ny plats. Kids som ville komma in backstage. Bara säkerhet generellt liksom. Men känslan bland grabbarna var ju otrolig.
We did the tour of the United States and Canada. They were in Canada too. We got them the shows. Then we were going to do a big tour from November to middle of December to really make money. And I knew I could make money out of these kids.
Alla var så taggade för det var nästan hela gänget där liksom. Det var en större turné, det var alla förfrågningar, alla möjligheter, mycket fest.
Jag får psykos. Jag kommer få psykos.
Bara. Hej, Jonne. Ja. Jag skulle bara inte banga på lite guld.
Jag sa väl det och lägga ner.
And all of a sudden, I have 15 people on the road. It was a circus. And I'm having Baron do this and Emilio. And they're sitting there. And there was a lot of drugs.
And like, can you imagine if I know you in real life? I'd be like, fuck you, you know? Because like, I'm not a bad person.
Min magkänsla litade aldrig på Steven. Det Så det jag hörde från dag ett var att han skulle agera som en slags legal guardian och guardian över situationen och scenarierna som skulle kunna uppstå. Någonstans tyckte jag att jag fann mig själv i en ganska stor roll att behöva vara the guardian över situationen.
This little tell them what's going on, man. Gravity Boys on memory tour. Go get that shit in stores. Taking over 2K15.
What you got on you though? What you got on you, man?
I got that Fendi, man. I got the Porsche, man. I'm afraid to say it. I'm afraid to say it, man. I got the Prada. That's a whole lot of money, man.
Well, let me see the price,
That's a whole lot of money, man. That's a whole lot of cash.
Sad Boys Tour 2014.
Micke har fan the time of his life.
Han har tagit alla 5
Men han ska inte ta några mer droger, han ska bara njuta av this trip. Ja. Alltså Micke, du har en jävligt bra trip ahead of you. Så jag är jävligt avigt.
Om jag kunde byta Xanax och Cooks och diverse droger mot mitt liv skulle jag göra det.
What it do?
Nothing, I got a coffee.
You trying to get a coffee?
No, I got one.
You got something for me?
Yeah.
You gotta get some crystal before we leave it the south.
Crystal meth?
Yeah.
Really?
That's not good. No. Just, we shouldn't tell the other guys.
It's on camera now.
I don't give a fuck.
Nice.
Vad jag minns starkast, jag minns släcka brännbarn. Det var mitt vardagliga jobb på den tiden. Man var psykolog, man hade någon slags fadersfigur, man skulle såklart hålla koll på allt som hade med livebiten att göra.
My son is not well. My son is on Xanax, and he's getting Xanax from other people. And I told my son, I will kick your ass if I see that again. You know, and they promised me they wouldn't do any more. This was in March. And then I get these calls that Lean wants to go drop some acid in Disney. I'm like, Baron, no.
Folk hade ju festat tidigare, men inte på den skalan som det gjordes nu. Liksom. Det kom till en punkt då vissa inte ens kunde stå på scenen. Och det gjorde mig både stressad och upprörd och oroad. Men när det går så snabbt så glömmer man att stanna upp och liksom verkligen få en ordentlig överblick på vad som egentligen händer.
Det är helt sjukt. Vi gör så här. Ställ dig upp bra.
Folk började handla på ett kanske lite svajare plan mentalt.
I don't know if he ever has.
You ever smoke coke in a morning?
No, I want to do that.
I think this is what my life is about. I think this is why I was born.
Barry har snackat mycket om energier. Han och Emilio var de första som liksom kunde lyssna på alla mina konstiga idéer och faktiskt tycka att de var bra idéer. Liksom. Och han sa liksom något såhär, Lean, you're not lean, you're Madonna, you're fucking Madonna, man.
Jonathan, what are you...
Don't film me so. Yeah, don't film me.
Ja, jag kanske är fucking Madonna. Barry tyckte det, ja, kanske är det liksom. Får jag börja se mig själv som det? Jag såg mig själv inte som det. Han hade bara en väldigt positiv syn på allting liksom.
I saw energy. I saw something that could attract people. I so badly wanted my son to have a hit that every day I blamed myself because I didn't realize how dark that energy was. These are not good boys.
Yeah, can you do that fucking... Like I'm saying it straight. Yeah, it was fucking dude that was stopping around the time. And then she's gonna hit the little bit fucking... So he wouldn't tell on me. And then, yeah, actually wouldn't. He's a brownie that fucking just takes all the shit all the time. And fucking calms her off.
Jag och Jonte tog ett möte där vi sa att vi skulle göra en till skiva i Stockholm. Så jag förberedde mig liksom på att vi skulle bara tagga ner, du vet, för jag känner väl lite att det var bara inte så trevligt, så jag ville göra något annat liksom. Det kändes bra att vara i Sverige och göra en skiva liksom. Men då var det redan planerat att vi skulle göra en skiva i Miami och då vägrade jag bara. Så de andra åkte och gjorde Warlord och jag var hemma liksom och bara
Men vi drog till Miami och började spela in och det var väl där någonstans som allting vände.
Baby
daddy. Fantasidrömmen, visionen blev till någon slags mörk verklighet. Ganska snabbt.
Come here, Bean. What are you doing, little guy?
Trying to tell me something, I don't listen. I don't pay attention to these children. Running up the highway on a mission. I see green lights, misfits, smoking cannabis.
If I remember correctly, Lean was coming off of a U.S. tour that sort of ended in Miami. The Machado family owned property down there, which was like a good place for them to crash. They could just stay in this condo, and they got looped in with the studio that was in Miami. According to Steven was paying for all the studio time.
When they said, why don't we put out a mixtape and a studio album, I'm like, are you kidding me? What a great idea. We'll do that.
Under den tiden så hade jag redan en ganska dålig relation med Baron. Alltid kändes som att det var en slags konstant maktkamp mellan oss. Om att få bandet att lyssna på honom. Liksom. Men fortfarande good times. Jag märkte också att Jonathan började bli lite mer instängd och paranoid nästan.
That's I had guess I had American Penny. I guess I had. I had fucking shit out of cop belt. Every fucking true.
Jag kommer ihåg incidenter som han pratade konstigt typ. När vi var på spelning innan och så. Men liksom att det har varit chill efter.
Det fanns någon slags dålig magkänsla hos mig att det vi gör just nu i på det sättet är inte rätt. Såg också att Axel Berg inte orkade med längre. Så Jag rådgav alla att vi skulle ta en paus med inspelandet och turnerandet och alla skulle åka hem. Men Jonathan var väldigt bestämd på att han skulle göra klart projektet i USA och sen skulle han åka hem. Så jag kunde inte övertala honom om att följa med oss hem. Så jag och Axel flög hem och Jonathan och Benjamin stannade kvar med Barry i Miami.
And there's like about this much in between the two, but all the rest of it is all peeled off. I'm saying it's
Det är lite trauma i det liksom. Och så bara hela den skiten som hände där. Så jag hade varit med om något sånt tidigare i mitt liv. Så jag var inte förberedd på det riktigt. Vi gjorde inte ens något liksom dagarna så här, vi spelade inte in. Det var bara fel så här, det var dåliga vibrations.
It sounds like when music was taken out of the equation, that's when things like went too far.
Switchblade in my hand, make you fall back. Flat on the ground, make you fall flat. Rainbow dreamland, take you far back. I'm up in the mountains with the stars, man. I'm in the jungle flying around like Tarzan. Xanax on many bars, man. I'm gone, been gone from the start, man. Road warrior, I do carjack. Suicide doors on my whip, what do you call that? It's too late for me to crawl back. Still late, chasing call back.
Coolt efter att jag hade kommit hem för 5-6 dagar så började jag få ganska oroväckande samtal och sms. Framförallt Benjamin om att de ville åka hem och att Jonathan inte mådde så bra. Han kunde inte välja verklighet från fantasi längre.
There's a video where Lean's sitting on my patio and he's throwing the disc out of the patio. I live on the 16th floor.
And he said that he couldn't sleep, like he was just up 24 hours a day. And during the night, he would go out onto the balcony and write this book on his phone. And the book was like a horror.
Han skrev grejer, han skrev så här konstiga kontrakt. Jävlar, han började se så här, alltid så här symboler. Så här.
I remember he told me about like a rat, that there was a rat in the book and how he related to that because of the Chinese zodiac. Like he was born in the year of the rat or some stupid thing like that, and told me that he had showed Baron what he had done in this book. And Baron was like, you shouldn't do that. Like this is, you're going too far into whatever this like darkness is.
Han fattade inte att han inte var sig själv. Så han försökte snacka med honom som vanligt. Och så Jonte sa typ att han sa det var så spöken, han såg spöken i rummet. Börn snackade typ så ja men så här, han där bara har ett spöke i sig typ så besatt. Så det kommer vara chill snart. Så vi chillar och väntar ut det bara typ. Bara sova och så.
That night something went wrong.
Yeah, that feels good on my wiener, that silky pillow.
Börn drog. Vi skulle köpa något från affären. Så precis när de går så hör jag så Jontes dörr öppnar och han går in i badrummet. När jag kommer nära badrumsdörren så jag känner så här fett stark typ energi så bara knas. För att öppna dörren så öppnas och han står där inne. Han har målat sig för ansiktet och så står och kollar in i spegeln så håller på sig. Sen typ börjar han freaka ut och typ han slår samman rutan så bara blöda så typ blod i sina ansikten.
Lean was freaking, flipping out,
Started cutting himself, throwing blood all over my apartment.
He loses control in a bigger way than he had before.
Man kollar hans ögon så det är inte riktigt samma person inne. vad fan ska jag göra? Så han är helt borta. Jag kan inte driva med mig själv. Så jag ringer ambulansen typ. Så ambulansen kommer. De lägger han på någon boll så de frågar typ vad som har hänt så också. Så jag bara typ har psykos. Så de bara nej. Vad har han tagit typ? Så de tror inte heller bara han har psykos. De tror han är typ hög på meth eller något. Så jag bara nej. Så han har bara rökt typ.
The police came, the Miami Beach police. He gets put away in the second.
Jag åker med han i ambulansen till sjukhuset. Jag tror de frågar honom om han är suicidal. Och han säger ja. Så de måste ha som tvångsintag. Så de lägger in en rum där så de säger att jag måste dra till. Jag taggade ifrån så jag åker tillbaka till lägenheten. Baron är hemma fortfarande. Jag har ingen nyckel till lås. Så jag sitter där i lobbyn och väntar typ 5 minuter.
Baron should have never gotten in that car. You know, he gets so fucked up. Well, what are friends there for? Why did they take
Somehow those two groups like not being in the same place ultimately is what leads to the accident.
They should have never let my son out of that apartment. They should have never given him the keys to the car.
Good morning to you, South Florida. Yeah, it's definitely been a sad day out on the roads. What you're taking a look at right now is some live picture of this accident that happened roughly around an hour and a halch, 2 hours ago. This is Leisure Road at Northwest 36.
I found out my son was dead April 8th that morning. It's the weirdest thing I've ever experienced in my life. It was surreal.
It is a deadly accident. We know that car went right into that hole. And let's take you above right now, Chopper 6. Over the scene.
B, what are you doing this with your lifestyle?
Am I mad at me? Yeah. He didn't need to do that shit, but he's a kid. Did he cause Baron's death? Yeah. Did he kill Baron? No. Baron got caught up in the storm. He caused it. Did Amelia cause it? Yeah. I blame myself. I caused it. I was not aware. You know, it's a sad story. People need to know the story.
Lorraine was saying something about she wanted. Brian must have was a story, didn't he? Or what was it? I don't know. My baby. There's some tape I keep in my bag, but then I have to keep that part of it. Had sweet onions. But when you do them all sweet onions. The blue ones. What do I do with the blue ones? The blue ones. Go ahead, bust that up. Bust that up, bust that up, bust that up. That's there. Band-Aid / boom.
After what happened in Miami, it changed everything.
Light off stuff. Det
var jag som hämtade upp honom på flygplatsen. Tillsammans med hans mamma och pappa och psykolog. Vi körde hem honom till Spellas lägenhet.
What is it? Oh, it's a steely ball. Steely bearing.
Men det var liksom
steely ball. Bearing. The fat one.
I had a ball bearing. That's what we used to call my little sister. I had a binge of ball bearing. Because she would say, yeah. I don't know how we come up with
Kanske borde ha varit mer oroliga.
I have a binge of ball bearing.
Men det var så mycket, otroligt mycket kraft och kreativitet och det var så självklart att han skulle få uttrycka sig. Det var så självklart att han skulle få ta plats och göra sin konst och sin musik. Och det kändes också som att hur oroliga vi än var så hade vi inte kunnat stoppa Jonathan.
Queen America.
My goddamn keeper trying to bite me. Bastard.
I had apple pie and ice cream for breakfast. It was yummy.
Yes.
Jag kände i magen att det var något fel.
You know what I did? I had a fucking pie fetish for fucking like 2 months. I ate a pie every day. I was selling drugs to get money to get my pies. One of my food stamps right now.
Really?
Yeah, I'd fucking choose a dope hit or to wake up with, or some pie. I'd buy a pie. Fucking pumpkin pie and whipped cream. I'd eat a whole pumpkin pie in one setting with a thing of whipped cream. Just throw the whole thing of whipped cream on there and go crazy.
2 månader.
Almost pumpkin pie, almost every single one of them. That Marion Berry. That Marion Berry.
Oh yeah, my dad loved Marion
Fuck
Berry.
the Marion
My dad
Berry.
loved boysenberry pie. My dad loved boysenberry. Oh, and rhubarb.
I didn't buy. Rhubarb. Strawberry rhubarb. Yeah, that's strawberry rhubarb. So good. Yeah. I come. Like, yeah. I come to the spot one day and fucking all of a sudden the inside of this pie is eaten out. I know damn good well she don't eat like that. And who the fuck ate the whole inside of the pie out? Okay. Oh, come on, man. You don't eat like that. You never in your life would eat like that or something.
Who did it?
I don't know. I never did. I went back to the main spot. I said, I'm trying to find out who likes blueberry fucking pie to all the homies. Which one of y'all motherfuckers likes rhubarb pie? I tried to get on the slide with it, like, trying to find out which one likes rhubarb pie. Y'all was guilty. It's a motherfucker that rhubarb pie. I was trying to find out which one. But then you know, Twitch. It had to be one of them. I don't know.
You have to go down to Dick's. Their apple pie and ice cream. Good. I had the other day. It was so fucking
Is it Dutch apple pie?
No, it's just a little.
I don't know.
Pies like
I'll
McDonald's,
eat
but
it and I
they're way
like
better.
it, but I like Dutch better than the regular apple pie. I'll
But
eat
they're
it.
no, they're like these little pies that they cook. They're like little. What do you
Jag
call
väl hörde liksom att
Tarts?
Jonte hade
Yeah.
liksom fått psykos
That's what
av
they're
det. Då
Could be.
jag tror jag bara stängde av lite liksom.
When they make pies with they make them like
Men,
a little like a cannoli. Not a cannoli.
Jag gjorde det liksom så jag
Crepe
pratade
you?
inte mer. Liksom,
Yeah,
eller
they're
jag
just like a little
avlägsnade mig
mini
väldigt
pie.
mycket från allt.
Cover it all around, like at
Våren.
McDonald's.
Pot
Sommaren
pie?
liksom.
You know
Oh,
the kind
yeah,
of pies
but-
at McDonald's.
Yeah,
Kind of
yeah.
like that, but
Och det var
way
alltid
better.
bara var jävla röra.
Dick's has way better ones. I've never seen them anywhere else. I don't know if they make them themselves, but they're so fucking good. They're just so good.
I was gonna score from this chick one time, just did some shit. And
But you know they're called
fuck, I just moved here. I didn't hear that. Yeah, I didn't know.
You're
I
like,
wasn't. Yeah,
what's that
I
code
knew,
for?
but I didn't know. I hadn't been. Yeah, what the fuck is what we get? Whammies, huh? Damn, you double whammies.
What did you want me to do?
Every day I listen to him, it
After a
saves
while, but she got a federal prison.
like literally.
Tim fuck. Had all downtown soda. We had a whole briefcase full of dope, and then they'd be out
He was
dumpster
telling
diving too
me
at the same
I've
time.
done my rap stuff. I
He
proved
wasn't
it,
even much for hanging out on the
and
coattails.
like now I'm just gonna keep making art in whichever way I want.
Make sure you got busted twice and stop.
Oh, Brian
Det var så här,
gave
alla
me a
väntar
pop
på
for you, but
mer.
then you were gone for so long. I opened it up.
That's okay.
Vi tänkte snacka om musik under den här tiden.
Thirsty.
I think there might be a Pepsi. Yeah, there's a Pepsi in here too. And there's a Twinkie and a. Uh-oh, what's this, Brian? The confession letter.
Letter. Gave you a note.
Yes, Daddy, I'm sorry about everything. I must admit, I'm in love. No, you
Yeah,
didn't.
he is.
Du ringde mig
Don't do it.
och ville så här.
You never said that. I'm gonna do
You don't ever come over here
No, okay.
På den här
You told me.
promenaden så berättade han allting.
with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. That's what I said. Yeah, he doesn't come over here.
Jag
The only
visste
reason he
inte
came over here is
exakt
because you're
hur
here.
illa det var.
Oh, right here.
Yeah, he never comes over here.
Alltså Steven hade ju förlorat sin
Probably
son,
scared him off.
vilket är
Yeah, it probably did.
fruktansvärt.
Last time he's like, I'm not feeling this. I'm out of here. That's funny.
På det sättet.
Because I've never seen him like that before.
Roligt också för oss. Dessutom
I
var
never seen him like
finanserna en enda röra. Det fanns inga kvitton, det fanns inga fakturor. Alltså i allt det här så skulle ju Steven vara den vuxna. Han skulle ju ha hand om
What?
det här.
Oh.
Alltså det slutade ju med att vi hamnade i en rättstvist. Men det enda viktiga för oss för den här tidpunkten var ju att bli frisk. Hålla allt annat flytande såklart.
Ganska snabbt så kom vi till insikt att det behövde ju skötas en hel del managementjobb till att börja med. Men sen då också måste man ju kunna finansiera det på något sätt. Så vi började ju leta
Who's young lean? Do you want some?
partner som kunna släppandes steg in.
Young Lean.
Medan Jompe
Is that a Chinese rapper?
började fila på nytt upplägg.
Yeah,
Lite
right here.
Back to square one liksom.
Let me see here.
Jag och Benjamin började driva hans sociala medier under någon tid. För att försöka upprätthålla det liksom. För att det inte skulle börja väcka så mycket frågor om vad Jompe har tagit vägen. Liksom.
Oh yeah, we're gonna move on.
Jonathan var ju lite oklar över vem som var vem. Vem är Jonathan och vem är Jan-Lin? Vem är jag i den här karaktären? Är jag den här karaktären eller är jag inte den här karaktären?
What? Water in there. What is it?
Jag har ingen minne av att jag kunde ta musiken. Jag tror att det var en ständig liksom, försök att komma upp på hästen.
What was in that glass that was water? What was in that little glass that was water? Wet with the sweet thing. Oh yeah, what?
I don't know.
I can't remember. Let's see what it was. Yeah, it smells like shitty wine.
Jag tror han behövde starta för att Young Lean var så emotionellt laddad för honom under den tiden. Så han behövde uttrycka sig fortfarande i musik, men ur ett annat medie. Mycket mörkare, mycket ärligare och personligare. Någon slags tankerensning från den tiden. Få ut det som behövdes för att kunna börja om igen.
You're crazy, man. You're fucking crazy. Fucking crazy, man. First one. One is like right.
Hardest stone. Lord knows I've suffered through too much. When I drink too much.
That's so fucking serious.
I know, but those are dangerous. Dangerous route.
This is pretty vicious. Roll a cigarette with the thing covered gas on the inside. With that little butt, but I soaked the fucking thing in oil.
När han skulle liksom fortsätta.
You're pretty powerful because you can't. Anything else will get gummed up and you won't be able to drag off it. So that's we tobacco. Dry tobacco.
John skulle spela i Ryssland.
Oh my god.
Det var väldigt mycket pengar för att vara just då. Han hade aldrig varit i Ryssland. Så vi var så här. Ja, fan. Det kanske vore bra för honom att liksom hoppa upp i sadeln och liksom kolla hur det känns.
He was listening to the program. I got fucking one we don't sing all the songs. She kept having trouble with the fucking money. She didn't working. She didn't know that the door was shut and you put the quarters in. I guess she put the quarters in first before she opened the door or something and started up. Woo-hoo! That's the dumbest fucking one of them all. You got fucking with batteries, blam! You have to hear it. And you sat down and talked and blah, right to the top. Under the sea.
Who's this? Is this still at Young Lean? What the fuck is Young Lean? I don't mind no more, honey. My lungs can't take it, babe. Yeah, it is, but it's good though. Yeah. It's hard to inhale it right when it's tobacco too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know how you inhale That's what I always have trouble with when it's moving tobacco mix.
I love to fucking yes,
I don't know how to inhale it right. Do you know what I'm saying?
yeah, that's why I always fucking great cigarettes, Western. Especially the big ones. Yeah, fucking love them.
Have you seen this dude before?
Huh?
Have you seen this young, lean dude before? Look, he's a fat kid.
I took off in a spaceship, went straight up, landed on the moon, and just checked it out.
I never even heard of this dude before.
He's fucking fucked up right now. He's doing
This dude?
No, this is not one of my homies. I got one of his songs right here, but he doesn't have any nothing but. Actually, I can get some of it.
Ganska snabbt. Så.
I don't know what's going on right now. He's not talking to me because of fucking
A rapper here in Spokane?
Yeah, he's pretty. I was sorry waiting for he's like my godson.
What's his name?
Trent Gregory. He's my
Oh.
little Trini. Oh, say, I'm not sure that all that people are gonna, but whatever, you know what I'm saying? I guess now we're in the age where it doesn't really matter, but it almost sounds like a little tranny, and people might like sound like a little bit, maybe. Like people like P. Diddy or something, you know what I'm saying? He had to change, he changed, I think that's why. I thought the dude was gay at first. Puff Daddy, huh? You know what I'm saying?
I know, right?
I was thinking he was gay or something.
Well, they are. They are all gay in the hip hop industry and everywhere else, actually. All men are gay, actually, I think. Oh, no, you know what?
Give me a call, baby.
Oh my god, I'm gonna fucking do this. Whoa, dude. Oh my god. Shit.
Yeah.
I was recording. Oh my god, dude, I fucking. Oh my god, you know what I did? Oh my gosh. This is bad. This is bad. I had the fucking live stream on, dude. I gotta fucking delete it. Remove. Okay. Edit. Oh my god. Whoa, dude. Fucking. Nobody's watching at least. Dude, that was us having